A common question that I get is like, oh, how do you not get nervous? I know what it feels like to play at a tournament. I know what it feels like to play on the big stage. First is everything in the FGC. Literally, if you're not first, you're last. I don't really get nervous at tournaments. I actually like it. Like, it's really fun. It's really fun.
Riddles takes it! A GOML Forever over Slice! Oh no!
Is that enough?
No way it is!
And Riddles is your Big House 10 Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Champion.
Riddles, what an incredible climb to the top this player has had over the past few years.
Riddles, man, he is here and he is a Street Fighter player now. He is a tournament winner. He is not just a top player in the game, he is a tournament winning capable player. Anything less than that is not going to be satisfying to a player like him.
Today on Trash Talk, we have a very special guest because normally we have excellent representatives from just the fighting game community. But today we have someone who's been cooking the gaming world in general with FGC characters for quite some time, both in the Smash world and now becoming quite possibly maybe the best Terry on the planet in Street Fighter 6. We'll see what he has to say about that. We have Riddles. How you doing, man?
That's good. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing great. It's awesome to have you on here.
It's an honor. I've been looking forward to this.
That's awesome, man.
It's about time.
You've been putting in the work, and it's really been paying off lately. And for people who might not have been following as closely, you know, you just recently had a string of amazing performances in Street Fighter 6. You've been kind of on a little bit of a world tour recently, starting with GOML in Canada, all the way to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, through the Esports World Cup LCQ, then through UFA Top 8. So I just want to say, first off, congratulations on all your recent success. How does it feel to finally be like making this pivot to full-time Street Fighter bear some fruit? Like, it's actually coming together. Okay, so regular listeners of the show might be tired of me bringing it up by now, but I just wanted to say thank you. Thanks to your support, we are so close to reaching partner status on Spotify. And if you didn't know, Trash Talk and Extra Trashy are available in full video and audio on that platform. With the final goal of 10,000 consumption hours being just within reach, we are so close to making that partner push. So if it's convenient for you and you're interested, please consider checking us out on Spotify directly. And for those who want to support further, you can check us out at the Brian F. Patreon page. There we have things like early access to mainland Trash Talk episodes, exclusive content only on that platform, and more connection with the Extra Trashy community. Okay, that's it. Back to the episode.
It's been an interesting road, because with Street Fighter 6, this is my first year of really going like super full time in it. Since like the game's release, I've been balancing both like Street Fighter and Smash, right? Or trying to do both at the same time together, which I do not suggest. I don't suggest if you're a fighting game or maybe just an esports player in general to play two games at one time and trying to be the best at two games at the same time. It just kind of divides your focus. So, I mean, I've always played Street Fighter a decent bit, and like I played a lot, but I didn't really have like, I guess, that spark to like really be the best. And then Terry came out, and I was like, oh shoot, I gotta I gotta try hard this. And then he sucks for like 6 months, but he gets buffed, so it's okay.
Yeah,
I'd say starting like I forgot the patch. Oh yeah, it was the December patch when he started to become like, you know, a decent character. Because when he released, it was kind of rough. But really, the pivot started when I got dropped by Liquid. Since I used to be part of Team Liquid for like 3 years in Smash Ultimate, right? Then they dropped the whole Smash Ultimate team on I believe April this year. And then at that point, I was like, well, I don't think there's any more sponsors I can get here. Probably. So, you know, why not just try this full-time Street Fighter stuff? I mean, it's still rough. I still haven't really gotten anything right now. I think the esports industry right now as a whole is just kind of in a rough spot. It's in a little bit of a rough spot. So I've been trying to prioritize streaming and whatnot. But I still try to like go to these tournaments, right? Because it's still like, you know, it's still something I really enjoy doing. Although honestly, like going to Saudi Arabia was such a crazy like thing to do. Now that I think about it,
you've been like all over the world, man. We'll get into the specific details about that whole journey, but I guess I do want to get on, you know, cover your origins a little bit, especially since I think a lot of people listening to this are going to know more traditional FGC. And I think your story is really interesting from the perspective of an OG fighting game fan and competitor, because we've never had a Smash player come over to traditional fighting games for Street Fighter, I would argue, and compete at the level you're doing, right? And I think
For Street Fighter.
yeah, that there's always been such a rift between Smash and traditional FGC for so many years, and I've seen that firsthand, right? I'm an 09er, so
Right.
I saw
Right.
the culture clash for many years before I feel like post-COVID there's been kind of a firm divide. Like it's almost like they gave up trying to merge the communities. But I remember for years like seeing the clash happen firsthand at all the CEOs and everything. It was
Right.
just, and there's still, I think traditional FGC doesn't understand or respect the Smash community as much as they should.
It's too
still to
complete.
this-
It's two
still-
completely different. I mean, if I'm gonna be honest, it's two completely different communities. Like as
Right.
someone who's actually in both communities, the
How so?
demographics are. I mean, well, there's just not much crossover. I mean, like the people who play Smash are completely different from the people who play fighting games. Although I'd argue the same is true for like actual fighting games. Like people in the Street Fighter, I think I'd say like the Street Fighter community, the anime community, and the Tekken community are all like basically completely different. It just has like the connection of the fact that we're all playing traditional fighting games together. I guess they all watch it together too, because they're all in the same tournaments. But yeah, no, Smash and FGC completely, I'd say completely different demographics, completely different like people that I meet, right? So yeah, I'd say it's very different. But yeah, I would agree with you.
Yeah,
I would agree with you.
So it's interesting that you made that jump, right? And I personally have never had this belief. There used to be a stigma that like, oh, Smash is the easy game to play, and then there was these high and mighty traditional FGC players who assumed just by the virtue of playing traditional fighting games were so much better, which is completely not true. I've never understood that mentality, right? And so I find it very intriguing that you're kind of breaking that mold and that stigma. And other players have done it in other games as well. Like we've seen a lot of Smash players gravitate more towards like faster paced titles, Smash, or like Guilty Gear Strive or tag games. Void's now cooking into XKO, for example, right? We've seen it more in those other faster paced titles.
Yeah, isn't Void like number one into XKO right now?
Yeah,
or
he's a gamer,
like
man. Like, if you can get good at one competitive field, especially, I think there is a decent amount of skill transfer between Smash and traditional fighting games, more than like say coming from Dota or whatever to a fighting game for the first time. But they're still very different. But there's some crossover there. So if you can do it in one game, you can do it in another, and you're doing it now in Street Fighter at a level that hasn't been seen before. But you actually started competing in Smash. I went through your Wikipedia results, and if I did the math correctly, one of your first tournaments listed on there, you're 15 years old for Smash 4.
No, that's not even the earliest tournament I've ever been to. I mean, the earliest tournament I've ever been to was probably some random Toronto local called Smash on Tap, and I was 13 years old, and I was playing Smash Ryu 2016. I think it was June 2016.
Okay.
And I was with my dad, and he drove me to this like random, poutine.
Yeah.
Like poutine restaurant that they had.
Okay.
In this like a Smash tournament in some poutine restaurant. Yeah, that was the first tournament I've ever been to.
And you're playing Ryu already, so I think
I'm
that's
playing,
interesting.
Yeah, I was playing Ryu, and I beat a lot of PR players, power ranked players. You know how another cultural divide that Smash and FGC have is in region like rankings. A lot of people care about rankings in Smash. But anyways, the people who were like ranked in Toronto, I beat a lot of them, right? As like a complete like online warrior, just playing offline for the first time, because I played. I was like, well, people in Smash, they call them Wi-Fi warriors, and I was basically a Wi-Fi warrior for like 2 years. People in Smash just call online Wi-Fi for some reason.
Right.
I mean,
the consoles have no Ethernet port, right? Like originally.
I mean, no. The Wii U did. I mean, you could use like an Ethernet adapter.
Right.
But like,
if you need an adapter, that means everybody's on Wi-Fi. So you're
exactly.
Wi-Fi.
You're basically
right.
playing on Wi-Fi.
I definitely think they need to change that for the whole culture, just to like get rid of Wi-Fi. Like,
I mean, the Switch 2 has an Ethernet port.
Right, exactly. Smash. I think that's one thing about Smash culture. You got to change that so that the future generations understand. Hey, we need to get that Ethernet cable. So you're playing Smash 4.
You're
You're playing Smash 4 online with Ryu. So how did you first end up on Ryu? Because throughout your Smash career, like besides just being one of the strongest players and winning a lot of majors and placing really well, you're doing it with the FGC characters, right? You're doing it.
Yeah.
So you start with Ryu in Smash 4, and then you're playing Terry in Ultimate, and then Kazuya as well. So how did you gravitate to Ryu when you're, I guess if I'm doing the math now, 11 years old starting when Smash 4 came out?
Yeah.
Why
11.
Ryu?
Smash used to have this like ranked online matchmaking system on like a website called Anthers Ladder, and it would basically simulate proper like elo, right? But you would just go in like custom rooms, obviously. And I played that for like 2 years. That's how I got like competent or like good, I guess, at Smash. And it's definitely a big part of my growth as like a fighting game player is like that sort of experience. And I was playing Captain Falcon, and this Ryu player just wrecked me. He just wrecked me with Ryu. He like just came out. I'm like, what the hell is this cheap ass character? I'm gonna play him.
Okay.
I thought he was cool too, right? So I was learning like the inputs and stuff, right? On like the little, I think I used to play. Yeah, no, I was on Game Controller at the time. Yeah. So I was trying to learn, fighting game inputs on the GameCube controller. I learned fighting game inputs through Smash Brothers, which is like,
wow.
I mean, honestly, it's pretty lenient in those games, so it's not that bad. But it's just funny looking at how people in 2025 still struggle a lot, right? With the whole modern dilemma and whatnot. No problem if you use modern, by the way.
But just to explain that control scheme in Smash, like from my understanding, I dabbled with it a little bit. It was kind of like it had modern inputs for the FGC characters, but you could also opt to do the traditional inputs. And what was the reason? Like, I think mechanically you got a benefit from doing the traditional FGC inputs.
Yes.
Right?
If you use the traditional FGC inputs, your moves they're just stronger, and they have like more attributes. Like, for example, the Shuriken has more invincibility. Obviously, if you actually do like the normal input, it's way stronger. It has less lag. Stuff like that.
Right.
Stuff like that. So doing the traditional inputs was very, even like to this day, it's very optimal to do that. Right. Compared to just a normal modern input.
Okay.
Because they would literally just have worse aspects. If you just use the modern input, like the normal Smash input, it's just worse, just straight up.
Would there be any situation where you would opt for like the simple input just for reactions?
Yeah, when you I'd say when you're like recovering from the stage, like if you're trying to if you're like down under the stage and you're trying to get back up, it's kind of awkward doing the Shoryu input all the time, right? So most people would just opt for like up B or just the modern input, whatever.
Right, I guess if you're falling off the stage and you miss your uppercut, you just die.
That's definitely happened. I've definitely like just went like, fuck it, I'm gonna do the input, and then it's just like,
should have done modern controls right there. Yeah,
exactly.
So you literally gravitated towards Ryu just because some guy beat you up online. There wasn't any other like inspiration for fighting games even before then? Did you have any other influence, like seeing Ryu in action anywhere, or is it just seeing it in Smash?
I got into fighting games because of Ryu and Smash. I got into fighting games because I started playing this character, and I was like, wait, this character's really cool. What game did he come from?
Wow. Right? So you didn't even know Ryu as a Street Fighter character at all before?
I mean, like, I did know what Street Fighter was. Like, I did know, like, roughly.
Right.
Fighting games and whatnot. I was like 11, 12 years old, right? I played this character for a while. I'm like, I wonder what game this guy has, right? I started playing Street Fighter 2 on the Wii U Virtual Console. That was my first real fighting game, I guess you can say.
So when you were playing on the Street Fighter 2, was that a bit of a shock going into that game? Like, I'm curious what your impression was coming from Smash and then jumping to like the OG Street Fighter 2. Did you have any sense of like, oh, this is weirder, this feels strange to even pilot? Like,
no, it felt very natural to me, actually.
Really?
The biggest struggle was just finding the cheap ass CPUs that read your button input.
Yeah, facts.
That was probably the most struggle thing. But I've never in my life struggled to do like a motion inputs like consistently, right? After that, I actually got into Street Fighter 5 because I was like, oh, I wonder what's the newest game at the time, and the newest game at the time was Street Fighter 5, Season 1. I got it for my birthday, I think, and my first ever main was Urian. Because I thought he was really cool. I actually played a lot of I forgot this part too, but I actually played a lot of Fightcade as well as like a little kid.
before Smash.
No, not before Smash. Like after Ryu came out, I started playing Third Strike like very casually. I wasn't good, but I'd play. I actually had a friend in school at the time that I'd also play with actually.
Okay.
And we'd play like Third Strike together. We'd play like Super Tower together.
That's awesome. Okay, so it seemed like you really dabbled. Like once you found Ryu and Smash, you found
people think
how to play some more games.
Yeah, people think Street Fighter 6 is like my first ever fighting game ever. Like, no, it's not true. it's very not true.
No, you explored the classics from a very young age.
Yeah.
Probably more so than me.
Street Fighter 6 is the first one that I actually take like seriously, right? Because I played Street Fighter 5, but I wasn't that good in it. I peaked like Ultra Diamond. I switched to Akuma later.
Right.
I mean, I've told you this before. And you might have remembered it, or you might remember it now, but you didn't remember it at the time when I met you at CEO. I think. I think I met you post COVID at CEO.
Yes, or
I told
maybe it was Evo, but
we played in Street Fighter 5. Me and Brian Nev. This is some crazy deep lore for you guys, but me and Brian Nev used to play each other in the depths of Street Fighter 5 ranked match, and I was playing Akuma, his classic Balrog skin, and I do remember taking games.
You knew how to play,
man.
But
you would always win. Not to glaze, but you would always.
The set. I would get the set.
Yeah, you always win the set.
I went back through your Twitch chat history, not to creep too hard, but yeah, I was trying to pick up. I was like, when is the first time Riddles? Because I remember you being in my stream chat for a while before I pieced together.
I used to be called Shin Riddles.
Okay,
that used to be my old tag. And I would be in your Twitch chat in like 2017.
It was 2017, November 6, 2017. You said "fuck GGs." that's your first message in my Twitch chat from back in the day. Because I believe we just played. You said I was the Akuma player, and I remember we played a bit. But I guess like I didn't piece together that you were Smash Riddles for a while after that. But people in the Twitch chat would inform me, and then I would hear about your success with the FGC characters. Like, oh, okay, it kind of like made sense. It was all coming together. That vision.
Crazy. You pieced it all together.
Yeah. And then years later, you're here now, man. It's the journey has been insane. But yeah, so it's interesting that you've been playing so much fighting games from such an early age. It's like a different. I don't know, just a very different, unique career path, I feel like, from so many people that you would see in the Smash community, which really makes sense how it all culminated where you are now. But when you're playing these, I'm curious about your Street Fighter 5 experience when you're playing that. Like, you got in kind of at a rough time for Street Fighter. What was your impression of Street Fighter 5 at that time from someone who missed the Street Fighter 4 era? You might not have been like biased against Street Fighter 5 in that sense, so I'm kind of curious how you felt about Street Fighter 5 at the time.
Well, I still liked Smash more at the time for sure. I would just kind of play it like casually. It was fun. I did go to a couple locals for it. It was like a fun era, especially since I was younger. Probably, I don't know. I'm like trying to remember because it was so long ago, right? Or that it was kind of long ago. It was like 2016. I only played like season 1 and 2, which is
okay.
Maybe unfortunate, but
yeah, those are like the roughest seasons.
Yeah. I think eventually I kind of just got bored of the game because I don't know. At some point I just stopped. Like I got like 600 hours, which isn't that much, and then I was just like, I'm kind of bored. I want to play something else.
And at this time you're playing Smash, right? And then I think Ultimate releases in 2019, so that would kind of make 2018. So that makes perfect sense for a time to pivot off, right, into focusing on Ultimate.
I played in like 2016, 2017, and I just kind of stopped. I actually played a lot of DBFZ before.
Ooh, okay.
Before Ultimate came out, and
what was your team?
That game was, bro. Season 1, like season 1, Bardock, Vegeta, Goku.
Badass, dude. That's a sick team.
This is the most season 1 team ever. I'm getting sidetracked, but like that early era of DBFZ was really cool. Like seeing like the storylines, like Summit, Hook winning Summit,
right?
Goichi, shit, yeah.
So were you
that was a great time.
Invested in the FGC at this point? Because you're at this point. I mean, we're getting close to where Smash Ultimate's releasing, but you're playing Street Fighter 5. You're in my stream chat. You know about DBFZ. You know about the DBFZ streams and the competitive scene. Like, how are you getting exposed more and more to the greater FGC in the competitive space, and what is like your awareness of it at this time? Because I think still at this time, Smash 4 is maybe your main hobby and competitive game. I mean, you're
Smash
super
4,
young, but
yeah. It's definitely still like my main hobby and passion, right? Smash, or like I would still see FGC content on like my social media, right? So I'll just keep up through like Twitter or Twitch or YouTube, right? I still see the content because I still like invest in it, right? But I wasn't like super deep, right? My main focus was still Smash, but I would still like spectate from the sidelines and like see what's going on and whatnot. So I've been around, for
right.
sure.
So like you're watching Twitch. Like I guess it's a bit different from other people I've talked to on this show because like you're younger, right? So like you're growing up watching all this stuff. Like this is like natural for you. Like you watched all this on Twitch, all the tournaments. Like were you watching Capcom fighters at all? Like were you invested in like the greater FGC tournament scene and watching Evo?
Obviously Evo. Yeah,
okay.
I would watch Evo, but I don't think I would watch like every single Pro Tour. I don't think I really kept up with that too much. Brian F, I literally grew up watching you.
You told me this before. It was very strange.
I literally grew up watching you. I know it might be weird hearing someone from Trash Talk. Have you ever heard this from someone in this podcast so far? No,
the people I usually interview vaguely know who I am.
Yeah. Literally.
I've been streaming for 10 years, so you're 22 right now, right?
Yes.
Wow. So I would have been 12 when I first booted up OBS and streamed to Twitch.
Something like that. Like I think you had like 70 viewers 2017-ish? Something like that?
I think 2017 I was cracking the 200 maybe.
200? Yeah. No, it was around there.
Late Street Fighter 4, I was like, ooh, 70? Like we're cooking right now.
We're cooking.
Yeah, so no, you got in, you started watching way back in the day. That was pre-YouTube era. So that was just purely Twitch.
It was. Like that was like back when you were uploading clips of you like robbing people with Balrog tap or something.
Yeah. I would upload like once a month, like YouTube was an afterthought, and I would like manually edit my own stuff after work. It wasn't the focus kind of how it is these days. That's back when you would just play and stream on Twitch, and then the other hardcore fighting game players and Twitch heads would just find your stream. So I'm guessing you were just like browsing Twitch because you like these games and other people were playing them, and then that was kind of how like you got connected with like the FGC community, was just through browsing Twitch.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not just Twitch, but just like just keeping up, I guess.
Right.
In all forms of media. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, it's interesting to see how someone so young can just like gravitate towards that space, and then years later, like you're a pro now. like you're actually I think you're a professional. Okay. I think you count as a professional player. I mean, it's a loose definition, and it's still to this day in the FGC. But you're definitely a professional player. But I do want to touch back on that 2019 era, because this is where your career becomes a career, I would say, right? Smash Ultimate releases late 2018, early 2019. There's no Terry in the game yet, right? Terry is one of the first DLC characters. Who are you playing when Smash Ultimate drops?
I played Richter Belmont and Ken.
Okay.
I played Ken when he came out. He was one of the last characters revealed for like base game Ultimate. So I actually played Ken at my first local, or like at the end of my first local, and I beat my friend who was like number 2 in the region, behind like a top 5 player in the world for Smash 4. I was still balancing school and whatnot, right? Stay in school, guys.
And when you say school, like, is this high school?
Just high school, yeah. Not like I'm not I'm not an adult at this point. I'm like what, 15, 16?
Right.
16 years old. But yeah, stay in school, guys. But yeah, still trying to balance all that. I started traveling early 2019. I'm doing like 10-hour drives with my friends across countries.
How's that working? Like, who's driving? Like, so wait, you're still in high school. This is pre-Terry still.
Pre-Terry.
And you're driving. You're doing 10-hour plus road trips. Like
10-hour road trips.
Yeah, break that down. Like mom, dad, I'm gonna get in a car and drive 10 hours to play Smash Ultimate. And you're saying across, like, are you coming into the USA?
I'm
Is this all
going
in
to.
Canada?
I went from like Canada, like bottom Canada to my first out of region America tournament was in Maryland, Pound 2019.
Okay.
I literally just went up to my dad and I asked, "Hey Dad, can I go? Can I drive to America for this video game tournament?" And I guess my grades were good at the time or something, or I was being a good kid because he just said like, "Yeah, sure, that's fine." I was like, "All right, let's go."
But who's driving?
Cool.
Who's driving the kids? Was it someone's mom?
My friend from Smash, who I've known for a while.
And were they your age as well? A little bit older? Like they had
A little bit older.
Okay. And
Yeah.
Wow. That's a
It's
big.
just,
it's a big deal.
it was a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie. It might sound crazy, but like,
Right? No,
I guess it is kind of crazy. I guess it is kind of crazy.
But that's
looking
what
back
makes
at
it fun, man.
But
Like those are
that's
the
what makes
memories
it
you
fun.
look
That's what
back
makes
at.
it fun. Yeah, no, it was really really good, man. I definitely look back at it fondly.
Right.
Playing like in person, meeting new people, improving, like that process is really something like, especially when you travel like out of region for it. It's like one of the best. I think that's like one of the best experiences
Right.
someone could ever have with fighting games or this type of game or whatever.
Yeah, how do you feel about that? Because one thing that's interesting about Smash now is because of the fact that online is so ass, in a weird way, they've preserved that real OG FGC culture, which has been kind of lost to time due to the ease of access with online rollback and all these online tournaments that we have. That ease of access now with traditional FGC games has gotten a lot more people into the scene, and also I think people have gotten way better because of it. I do think it actually has improved the level of gameplay overall. But I also recall an era where in the Street Fighter 4 days, you had to go offline to get practice. I had to grab my CRT, put my console, and stick my backpack and walk around and go to someone's house and play a new batch of players, get new experiences. Every tournament, people from different regions would come over. You'd get new experiences and be able to finally measure yourself against somebody else because you didn't know how good you were relative to that guy you saw on stream in California or New York, right? Until those few touch points would happen a couple times a year. And so that was a very engaging and interesting experience to have. And you could share tech and experiences in person.
Exactly that.
Right.
And
but that's been lost to traditional FGC. But you got that through Smash. And I think that still exists like to this day, right? Do you still see that culture?
To some extent, yes. I'm going to sound like a boomer, but that's like, I think that is the best way. I think like that, experiencing that was like one of the best times I've had with fighting games or Smash. I still like getting better through online, playing like tournaments. And I think it's a great thing that we have. And I'd still prefer it because I think like for the greater good of like just overall like the community, it's probably better that we have like this amazing rollback and like netcode and whatnot. Especially for like streaming and shit. But I definitely do miss that. I definitely do. I mean, I literally just went to France, right? I had that experience with the Street Fighter like a couple weeks ago. But having it like constantly with like locals and stuff and whatnot, always having that, definitely do kind of miss that aspect.
I think there's something to be said for like going through a struggle together, which creates a more unifying bond. Like everyone who is physically there in that room went through some kind of struggle, some kind of friction to actually show up and get their asses out of their house and in there in person. So like I think that alone creates like a bond. Whereas if you play someone on an online ranked online tournament, it's like there was no effort they went through really to even get there. So, and also you're not there in person.
I feel like people forget that like when you play ranked, I mean it happens to me too, but I feel like when people play online fighting games, they forget that the other person is like a human being.
Oh, that's because they're not. They're not. They're a semi truck driving down the highway, cutting you off and driving insane. You know what I mean? Like it's like a road rage effect.
Creatures. They're creatures.
Yeah, they're an antagonistic force. They're not like a human anymore.
Force.
Yeah, they're an abstract concept.
Compared to when you see them in person, it's just it's a very different vibe, I'd say.
Yeah,
it's interesting talking about the clash between those two differences, right?
Right, and it's interesting too because I think Smash, like I said before, really has preserved that, and I think even prior to COVID, had a much stronger local culture. And I think a huge part of that was I mean, the games are more popular as well. That's the
Yeah.
number one factor. And then the number two factor is online being ass. And then I think those things together created this force where you mentioned PR earlier. There's so many different stepping stones, and the peak I think in Smash is so hard to reach. People undersell, I think, in the FGC how skill-based Smash is, but you have the rungs of the ladder to climb at all levels.
Yeah, it took me like 7 years to reach the top level
Right.
of Smash, being like ranked top 10 in the world. Took me that long. So
and 7 years from a
probably
child.
Yeah, exactly. So, it'll probably it's not easy. It's definitely not easy. It's actually really fucking hard.
And it's very consistent. It's a very consistent game. Like across the titles, it's far more consistent in terms of placements than a traditional FGC title has been since Street Fighter V. I think so. Absolutely.
You know what? Compared to Street Fighter 6, yeah, I'd say so.
Absolutely, dude. No, even
Oh my
in
goodness.
5, it didn't. Maybe like there was eras like with Punk and other players dominating, but Smash has always been so consistent at top level from what I've seen.
Well, it helps that our tournaments run first to 3 for the most part.
Yeah,
That's another big culture difference that I think is really nice. Well, for the Smash side, but,
I mean,
but
but I think in general, there's a big culture difference. I think in FGC tournaments, since it's always been about getting everyone to play all the games under one roof, no one game like takes up too much time. And it's a lot more about logistics than competitive consistency. Whereas I feel like in Smash, it's like they treat it like a sport. The amount of stats they have, the rankings, the way even the content creators approach it, it's so much more developed in that sense. And like I've always been looking to the Smash community for years for content inspiration and how we can improve our tournament scenes and how we cover and talk about these things. And we're in the FGC, it's an older community, but we're so underdeveloped in that sense.
still to this day.
I mean,
you're putting in the work. You're putting in the work. I see you cover the storylines that are
I try
low-key lost in time sometimes.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm doing here, right? I feel like
exactly.
It's been lost.
I feel like one thing that FGC needs to get better at compared to Smash, VOD preservation. Because Smash, like, they will upload every single, at least like VG Bootcamp or like the big guys, they will upload like every single set individually. Like no one set gets lost to the Twitch VOD archives. Bro, I tried searching up some sets for like UFA recently, right? Like the most recent Capcom Pro Tour tournament. I couldn't find some sets because they just aren't uploaded, or I have to like go through the whole broadcast or something like that. And it's just like, the heck, that's something I hope gets better.
Right.
Eventually.
But I think that example speaks to the whole ecosystem where like everything for Smash community competitively is preserved at all levels. Like what you're talking about exists for also any regional local. I could probably look up every single set from every week in the past 10 years. And I can also then get the stats of every player who plays in that local, their PR rankings and all this stuff. So I just think at all levels that kind of culture is there. And I think that's really powerful because in the world of traditional FGC, if you're not first, you're last, kind of. And
that's a huge
it's a problem,
culture difference that I have realized in this, like, starting to become full-time when I started to become a Street Fighter player full-time. Dude, first is everything in the FGC. If you're not first, if you're not first, you're last. Like, it's literally like no one cares that you got 5th at Evo, even though there's like 7,000 people. Like, no one cares if you got 5th. In Smash, people, not to rag on FGC. I think it's just how it is, right? But in Smash, if you get like 5th at like a tournament like that big, like people will like celebrate that stuff, right? But FGC, if you're not first, like no one cares.
Right. And even if you're first, they don't care.
That's a big culture difference.
And even if you're first, you're still shit if you didn't do it the right way. I do feel like the Smash community has often like celebrated their players, and I mean, I we'll probably get into it. I know you've been through some difficulties being appreciated for what you bring to the table. I've seen some discourse around, Kazuya being, this, that, and the third. So that kind of article. That kind of shit exists across all communities. but there's no stepping stones even at the top level. And then I love the PR system. I've seen so many people bemoan and complain about how it gets people emotional and it causes debates and it stresses people out and feelings get involved. However, to me, when I think about that, you have a system for these smaller regions where you can have a stepping stone that is realistic for people to climb.
Yeah, realistic.
Tomorrow, this year, I'm not going to be the top 5 in the world, but maybe I can be top 10 in my state. Maybe I can be top 5 in my one local region, right?
And people care about that a lot. And
that motivates them to show up and
it
play.
motivates them to show up, and literally, that's why the local scenes are still alive to this day. Like people still care about it. And you know what? For FGC, maybe it sounds stupid or whatever. You know, you're thinking about rankings, blah blah blah. It's unhealthy. It creates passion. It makes people care.
Right.
So I think that's more important than just trying to be the absolute number one best like all the time, right? Because you know it's not realistic for everybody.
I think that's a very old head mentality we have. I've heard tournament organizers talk about, I put the prize only for first place to light a fire under your asses and motivate you. That does nothing. When you're doing that in a scene where you have Punk and Mena RD entering your tournaments, when you say, the only reward is for first, what ends up translating to people's minds is, I'm just giving money to this guy at the top, and I have zero chance of even making like some incremental moves towards getting to that position because it's too far away. It's too like maybe they could get there one day, but you have to light up the next step. Like it has to be visible, the next progression to reaching that almost unfathomable goal of being the best in the world. You got to know where to go from where you currently are, and FGC does not provide that whatsoever.
No, I mean I guess you have online ranked. But like, come on,
your MR,
my MR, you know, the most important thing ever.
But that's why I'm happy we have MR system, right? At least that to me is solving a community need, because MR now actually means something. I think it actually has some relevancy. In Street Fighter 5, your rank number just went up forever, just based on how many hours you put in. It had no basis in skill. It was just like your grind amount of hours you put in. So now MR actually means something. So I do feel like that has replaced this or supplemented where we've been lacking this PR system. So people can go online and be like, okay, I reached 1700, I reached 1800, I peaked at 1900, now I'm here, I can try to average here.
Gives people something to work towards. And you know, like when I see like I still see on my For You page on Twitter like random Japanese Street Fighter, dude, it's so big in Japan, by the way. This is that's off topic, but I would see like random players just celebrating, getting really happy, getting like 1700 or like Grandmaster. I'm like, if you think from like their perspective, they're probably like, so, you know, it's like getting PR. It's like it's a realistic goal that people can get and like celebrate and have fun with. Not everything is just about being the absolute best, right? Like, you know, if you think about it really from like the whole community perspective. And I think that's cool. I think that giving something people can celebrate, even if it doesn't matter, it can still give something to care about, right? Still, I don't know how to word it properly, but like give something that people can be passionate about,
right? And that to me, that's what matters. If this whole thing,
at the end of the day, right? This whole everything,
this whole thing we're in only matters because we think it does.
Literally.
If tomorrow all of us woke up in the FGC and go, I don't care, like it's over. That's it. It's literally over. The whole industry collapses.
They're all driven by just passion for this.
Right. The reason people have careers and are able to focus on it full time, and then all this, it all stems from the core concept of us caring about this. So I would never brush off those stepping stones and like, you know, try to say, oh, who cares if you got your little milestone? That's not important. No, every bit of it is important because it all builds up towards us trying to celebrate the climb to the top and appreciate the growth process that all the players go through and the passion, and then get to be amazed by people who have put in that much work to be at that level and be inspired by that. All stems from us caring. So anyone listening to this, like, your little milestones, they matter. They matter so much because this whole thing is built upon millions of those milestone moments across everyone in the FGC. So I always celebrate the Smash community for doing that. And
yeah, I still to this
that.
day, like, even after I quit competitively, I definitely do miss, like, I love the FGC, don't get me wrong, but I definitely do miss like my friends in the Smash community who I've like grown up with, you know, built my life around since I was like a little kid, right? I definitely do miss like all the peers, because at the end of the day we're all human, right? It's kind of a little bit of the beauty of fighting games, is that we're all just human. Again, it goes back to your conversation that we all just care we all just care a lot about this one thing. It all brings us together, right? That is also something that is connected with Smash and FGC, is that they both have that common similarity. Like at the end of the day, we're all just people caring about this one thing. And definitely, I mean, it's just cool. it's just cool to care.
You got your homies that you're in the trenches with, right? Like these are the people
literally.
that like you would go to the tournaments. Maybe you'd have a good one, but you know, more often than not, for everybody, you have a bad one. That's just the reality of it. And then
at the end of the day, you're
with your homies going through it.
You know, you're still playing to have fun, right? And then you get dinner with everybody,
right? Commiserate, talk about it, dude, I can't do this anymore. I got my ass beat. No, man, you can do it again. We just got to work harder. You know, like you have those like bonding moments through the struggle, and I think that really unites people,
for sure.
So speaking of this struggle, 2019, you played a little bit with Ken. I'm very interested in the moment like Terry comes out, because I would argue you're maybe the best Terry player on the planet today for Street Fighter 6.
Street Fighter?
Maybe. You're up there. Regardless if you want to be humble or not, I would say you're up there.
I'd also say that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for being realistic.
I would say I'm up there.
You're definitely up there.
I do think there are some Terrys that are better. Well, for one, I think Lashar's the best Terry. I mean, I don't know if that really counts because it's Lashar.
Yeah.
But like he plays Terry a lot, and he's the best like player that plays Terry. If we're being honest. And then it's Kintyo. You know, the Japanese Terry, the best Terry in Japan, very innovative, very creative. And then it's Boost, I think.
Boost is godlike.
That's my goat. And then it's me.
Okay. Very fair. Very fair.
I'm not trying to. I understand, like, you gotta have confidence in this industry, right? And I like being confident because and you know what, it's good to be confident because it's good to go in with that mindset of, you know, I can beat anybody, I could be the best or whatever. And I still have that, but I also like being realistic, I guess, right?
No, it's interesting. I do think you have to wear like two hats and kind of swap them out. Like when you're in bracket, you got to be a little delusional, because otherwise, like if you're humbling yourself, you go up against that player who's the favorite to win, has more legacy. You're kind of selling yourself short, and then you're shooting yourself in the foot, and you're saying I can't win. Like, oh,
me going to EWC at the time was kind of delusional. Like,
right, but you gotta be
like before the tournament. But yeah, you gotta be, and somehow I made it work. But yeah, anyways, going back to your topic of Smash Terry. I don't know, when Terry came out, I was just really excited. Obviously, I was just excited because I was like, whoa, new fighting game character, and I just played them a lot. I was winning a lot in my like own region, going through my my school year, right? I think it was like my junior year, and then COVID happens, and then the world ends. And then the world ends.
You're in high school when COVID hits.
Oh god, yeah, that was
wow.
God. So bad, bro. So I mean, like, it's kind of weird because COVID kind of gave me my career in a sense, because I started streaming because of it. I started streaming in early 2020 because it wasn't shit to do, like, you know what I mean? You know, and I still do it to this day, right? But yeah, no, it was definitely an era, especially when you're growing up as like a teenager in that environment. You're just you're just like, you know, you're just inside all the time in like one of your most developmental years. It's definitely definitely an experience, and I did get better. I mean, even like I wonder if I would be like a super top player if COVID never happened. You know, I guess a lot of things would be different if COVID never happened, right? Like we probably wouldn't be talking right now.
Maybe.
I don't know. maybe like, or just everything might be different, because I had a lot of time on my hands just to like play the game, right? Just to get better. I still played even through the shit ass delayed netcode. I still played a lot, and I got better. That was the trend for like, oh man, the COVID was. I went through my senior year during COVID, bro. That was
does that even
bad.
count for school? Like, yeah, just as a
weird. It was weird.
Life.
It was weird.
Senior year is supposed to be for high school. I feel like such a
developmental,
fun and kind of like happy, but also a bit sad. It's like such a pivotal moment in your life. Like these people you've been with through 4 years, your group of in-person friends like that. You're reaching the end of that journey, and then everyone goes off their separate ways. Like you keep in contact with some of them, but it's like, it's the end of a journey, and that got cut short a whole year too soon out of nowhere.
I didn't have a prom. I didn't have a graduation. I didn't get none of that, dude. Or like it was weird. Like in Ontario, like some days the school would be in person, and then the COVID numbers would like rise up, and then it would be like, online another day, and it's just like it was just weird.
Wow. Do you have?
It was.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say it was obviously harder to, I guess, socially connect with your peers when you're you're obviously like distanced. You're all masked up, right? That's just how it was. Right? So during that time, I definitely was more. I mean, I still like socialize with my normal deep friend group, right? But I think it also kind of led to everyone being more online, right? And like me included. That's just how it was. Like I think naturally that's just, I mean, everyone was forced to do that, right? So it was definitely just weird, like growing up like that. But also I also streamed a lot during that time, so it kind of led me up to where I am now. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna ask, did you ever have a sense of like finishing, like finality, conclusion to your high school era? Because one of my recurring nightmares is I wake up and I have a college course that I forgot about, and I never got my degree. Like I have this once a month. I'll wake up and feel like, oh, I forgot to go to my class for the past 7 years. I'm not gonna get my degree.
I still have dreams of like my math teacher. I still have dreams of going to math class in fucking high school. Like sometimes I was just be like, he'd say like something that I'll get worried about. I'm like, oh my god, I fucked up. God damn it, dude.
Yeah, I forgot to go to math class this whole year.
Yeah. And then I wake up. I'm like, wait, I'm a full-time Street Fighter player. What am I doing?
That's what I think. Yeah, I wake up and I have dreams where I'm like, oh, you got to go back to college to finish this one class, and I'm like, this is crazy. I've been working. Like, I swear to you, like, I don't need to. Like, no, you got to go all the way back. Go back to school.
Yeah.
It messes up with your whole sense of like finality and conclusion. I feel like just psychologically.
No, I didn't have
there.
any. Yeah, it was just a really weird time because I mean, there were no vaccines until like what, middle of 2021, like early 2021, something like that.
Like a year and a half later.
Basically, like we weren't able to socialize or do anything really. Like again, no prom, no graduation, no sense of finale, I guess.
Right.
So that like arc of my life, and anybody born in like 2003, 2002, like probably went through like that similar type of era.
So for you, do you feel like Smash was kind of just filling that void for a while? Like
I guess so.
That's what you gravitated towards?
Whether that's a good or bad thing, I'll leave that up to you. But it's just how it was, just how it turned out to be, right?
Because soon after that, you started to see like your most career success, or your career began to form, I guess, after that era. Because I mean, also you're graduating high school, but you're also getting more practice in, and then you start to get your best results. I think 2022 and beyond, right? Yeah.
So I was playing Terry, right? I was still playing Terry this whole time, and then middle of 2021, Kazuya comes out. And at the time, people don't think he's really that good because You know, he's really slow. He has all these complex, weird movement stuff, inputs. Like, people didn't really know what his combos looked like, how to really play him in neutral and whatnot. But I just played him because I was like, oh, cool, new fighting game character, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know if you remember, but I went to the first Smash Ultimate Summit that after like COVID, right? That was still one of the best tournaments I've ever been to in my entire life. First Summit, I love that tournament series.
Yeah, amazing.
But yeah, you know, started playing Kazuya a little bit, and then did okay, but you know, still trying to improve. And people didn't really know what this character was capable of at the time. Shortly after that tournament, that was like summer of 2021. I go to university. I go to school again. I went to University of Toronto for business management, and it sucked ass because it was still online. You know, I went to a college. You know, I moved into a college dorm just to have online classes. Still, like, what am I doing with my life? Like, what am I doing? When I was just sitting in my, because it was like I was like sharing a dorm with like 3 other people, but I had my own room. But the room was like, maybe the whole room was just, I don't even, it like barely fit a bedroom, or no, it barely fit a bed, you know, like.
Right.
And I would just sit in this small ass table, just looking at my online class. I was just like, why am I here? But like, it was weird because, yeah, no, I never got a real university experience either, or college experience.
You were robbed of that. Like the dorm,
I was robbed.
Having the dorm that only fits your bed and a small little table is normally part of the experience, but that's because you're getting
you
out.
Go out.
You're going to the classes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're getting the full university, and usually the universities are just big, open area, tons of lecture halls, and you know, tons of places to organically meet people of your age and similar interests, and also but varied backgrounds. And you're not supposed to be in that dorm. You're supposed to wake up and get out. That's how you're supposed to live that experience. And you were
I did not
that.
and I was not able to get out. Yeah. So that's how it was, but it just sucked, if you can imagine. I was still trying to, it was weird because I was still trying to balance this Smash stuff alongside streaming, alongside school, alongside occasionally traveling to a tournament, right?
Right.
So it was just a lot to deal with. Yeah, so like eventually, you know, a constant thought that I have, you know, is that eventually maybe I'd like to go back and like actually have like the real experience, right? But it's just a weird dilemma for me because I'm so deep in this fighting game bullshit. I'm so deep in this. I'm playing Street Fighter. I'm traveling to tournaments. I'm streaming. I'm trying to make YouTube content, right?
Right.
You know, so this, you know, I really just want to give it my all, especially since a new Smash might come out whenever. Like that's also a constant thought that I have, is like, because the game, dude, Ultimate's like 7 years old.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be 7 years old, and like a new one could just come out, and that just might be, I don't know, that just might be crazy. Obviously, still Street Fighter 6 is my main like passion and like focus right now, but you know,
you got roots in Smash, man.
I'm too deep in this. I'm too deep in this, bro. But I know the option is there, and it's never too late. So don't let this discourage you from going to school. Or
at least for
like
education, it's never too late. I mean, I do feel, you know, I feel sorry for you that you had that experience, Rob, because being there at that age is a different experience, right? Like just to be able to socialize and just be on your own in a sort of controlled environment. Like, you're living on your own, but not really. It's kind of like summer camp for like for 18 through 20 year olds, like 21 year olds.
Exactly.
So it's a different experience. So that is just, the whole generation, because of COVID, was really robbed of, I think, an important milestone. But as far as like your professional life and your own education, that's definitely never too late. Like you can always, if you want to pursue something, you can make that pivot. So if I were in your position, I wouldn't be concerned about that in that sense. If you feel like it's right for you to pursue an education, to pivot to something else, you can do it, and it'll have to be at a time where you feel personally motivated to do so. Right. So if you feel like you're in it to be the best in the world at this thing right now,
Yeah.
then that's what you're in it for. And when the time comes, if you want to be the best in the world,
that
of
is
something
what
else,
I'm here for. You know, I literally just traveled to France.
you've been doing
out of
it.
my own pocket,
Right.
And I got a pretty okay result.
Not bad.
Pretty decent result.
But you were traveling on Liquid's dime for a while, and I would say that's because the Kazuya came out, you started cooking, and then even on your Smash wiki, they mentioned Riddles, the first player to win a major with solo Kazuya. You know, like it's right there, like bam, the Big House 2022, first place Riddles.
That was. I mean, I guess I'll tell you everything that led up to it, right? So I was in this shitty dorm, right? And then early 2022, I moved to my friend's basement. Like it had like a real room and everything, and I just say fuck it, and I just started to become full-time like Smash, like full-time content creator, traveling, right? Uploading on YouTube, doing Twitch streaming, and it's growing slowly. And then a couple tournaments happened. Collision 2022 was like my first breakout. I'd say my first top 8 for a Smash tournament. I got 4th, which is pretty funny because UFA was like my first open major, like top 8 Street Fighter. I also got 4th. I have a weird 4th is like my weird like cursed placement. I just get 4th a lot. I don't know why.
Maybe blessed. Maybe blessed.
Yeah. I mean, that's better than like. That's better than 97th. But yeah, no, it just started getting better. And then Lord HBox comes in and helps me get on Liquid, and I was on Liquid for good like 2-3 years. It was pretty wonderful. I'm not gonna lie. Being sponsored was pretty wonderful, but I definitely look back at it like fondly. You know, I don't have any regrets and whatnot.
They hit you up
that time.
So HBox, I don't know if he was part owner of Liquid back then or not.
I think he was.
So he has a lot of sway, I'm assuming, in these sponsorships and how these deals go. Were you approached after the Big House? Like my timeline that I saw is
it was early like 2022.
Okay.
Like middle early 2022, something like that.
So you were on Team Liquid at the Big House.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Well, shout out to HBox, man. He's scouting good.
yeah. I mean, shout out to them. I
brought home the gold.
Very, very fond memories. But yeah, winning everything leading up to that was just bunch of tournaments. Some decent placements, some failures. Right, as any competitor who really gives their all in this journey, you're gonna have ups and downs. Right, progress isn't linear, of course, but you do get better. Like that's something that's magical about human beings, is that no matter what, like it goes back. I remember watching a video from you about how you say, like, you were talking about how people like can't get master rank in Street Fighter, right? Or like some people, the mental belief of that you can't improve. No, that's like everyone improves. Like it's right. It might for some people it might be much slower than others, but if you do put in the work and your mind is like guided in the right place, like you will improve.
Right.
If you just put in the work, right? So it goes back to the topic, right? I started getting a lot better with Kazuya. Or people started in general getting a lot better with Kazuya, right? This is the nature of his character. Very execution heavy, movement heavy, but he kind of kills you in one hit. if you know his combos well and you have the execution and like the situations correctly, and with time, people started figuring it out. He's very cheap, but like, at the time it was like still new and stuff, and people like advancing the meta. So I started, I don't know, something just kind of clicked middle of 2022, and I won my first major, and that was a pretty crazy time in my life.
You're cooking for a while. You also got first at Collision 2023, and
yeah, that was early 2023.
Yeah, so you're really coming into your own in the Smash community, and you're pushing the meta with Kazuya. I did see some people start to complain after a certain point. I saw, I was singing the Smash community's praises earlier, but I definitely see the Twitter discourse about people.
It's not all sunshine and rainbows.
They know how to complain, man. They know how to complain about some characters.
It's definitely not perfect. Definitely some issues still.
So was that interesting for you? I feel like that, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like that might have been the first time where you were the target of character discourse in a way, because you were driving the meta with this character and starting to get wins and big placements with Kazuya. And then what trailed the lagging response was, wait a minute, this character's broken and cheap, and anyone who wins with this character is carried as fuck. Right? Like, was that
fun.
interesting for you to go through? What was that like?
To a very small extent, not very small, but like to a small extent, I've experienced this with Street Fighter as well. But the better you get at something and the more results you have, there's gonna be people who support you, but there's also gonna be more haters. This is a universal rule in like maybe just life.
Yeah.
Like the bigger you get at something, the more people are gonna pray for your downfall as well. So I also like, obviously when I started getting pretty good results in Smash, there's also some haters going like, whatever, fuck, you're carried and stuff like this. Like, I hate this guy, right? And that's just, it was really, it's definitely shocking at first, but at a certain point, I just like come to accept it, because at the end of the day, the people who support you will overshadow that, if you don't just focus on negative. And still, even in Street Fighter, like I look at Twitch chat, there's some haters, right?
Yeah.
I mean this is normal for like a lot of people, right? But when you rise up, there's gonna be more people praying for your downfall. But also there's also the supporters still, so balances out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's
so
how it
it's definitely
operates.
interesting to think about. Yeah, that's just how I think
It's
you can relate as well, probably.
Oh yeah,
right?
of course. Yeah, when I when I got my top 8s at premieres with Balrog, I mean, he was pretty broken at the time, but like it was shocking at first because I was the stream
like,
monster
fuck.
nobody for so long, and then I
and
get
now
on
you're the
stage
guy that they're
suddenly,
targeting.
and now they're all talking shit about me, and I'm like, I'm one of you guys. Like, what? We're on the same team here. You know what I mean? Like, what happened? But that's just how it is. But I think that experience is always kind of jarring at first, especially if you start getting that success in the 2017 and beyond era, like the streaming and content creation and social media era, versus before. I feel like you kind of make those waves and people accept it's you don't make shock waves in social media. Back then it didn't exist, but now whenever you have your come up in the social media era, it's a completely different reaction, especially on Twitch chat live first time. Oh, I don't know who you are, therefore whatever you did to get here, to beat favorites to get here, you're a scrub and you're carried, and it's the result of X, Y, or Z. The game's bad, whatever.
Crazy.
Like there's so many reasons why you're here and you don't belong here, other than hey, maybe on that day they were just a better player and they've been putting in work for a long time. So that never ends.
Social media definitely has its faults. It has its good parts, but it has its faults. I don't know. I might sound like a boomer for saying this, but like it can be crazy in how it like shaped up the fighting game community, or like I mean, this is a discourse that has been around for who knows how long.
Right.
Like whether or not social media is like good or bad, it has good and bad things, but definitely shaped up the FGC, I think, and Smash community. For better or worse.
Yeah, it can be a big deterrent to people. Like what's his name, Akola, the Steve player. Like I've seen everyone going after him for so long, a young kid doing work, being the best player he can be, and
he's a really nice guy too. He's a really nice guy.
And people hate him,
right?
Because he plays Steve.
He's the best, or he was. Well, he's not the best right now, but
yeah, he was winning with Steve, and Steve is broken. Therefore, you're a bad person for playing him, and
you're bad you. They take it really personal.
It's definitely the ugly side of it all. And any competitor who's found success has had to deal with that to some degree.
Yes.
It's funny.
Just how it is.
You had to go through it twice now.
It's not as bad with Street Fighter. I'll give you guys credit. With that. You guys aren't crazy. You guys aren't as crazy with the character hate, I would say.
Well, I think it's also the nature of the game.
But it definitely still exists.
Yeah, I think you're doing it with Terry right now, who is more respected. Like if you were
if I played like Mai
or M Bison, or you know what I mean,
M Bison, then
and there's not as many targets.
Maybe the conversation might be a little different.
Yes,
right
definitely different. And I think Street Fighter V was the last game where we had those kind of targets. I think like Balrog Season 2, Abigail Season 3. You know what I mean? Like it depends on the era and the balance of the game at that time, how much you get for it. But I want to get back to like the 2023 era when Street Fighter 6 finally comes out, because you're still on Liquid. Smash is still it's on still the come up, I would almost say, like getting out of COVID. And no, you don't think so?
I would say it stopped when our circuits died.
Which that
it was on the come up.
Was that 2022?
It was on the come up, but when when we had remember the Panda
Smash
Cup
World
and
Tour.
Smash World Tour,
Yep.
and then it all exploded for some bullshit reason. Right? We were having some sort of future, and then after 2022, it kind of just. The problem with Smash right now is that like it's not dead, it's not dying. Those are extreme words, but it's not growing. Right now, I would say I don't think it's growing. Meanwhile, I think Street Fighter 6 is like kind of growing.
At least in Japan.
At least in Japan.
There's signs of growth beyond just the initial release boom and then shrink. It's actually growing in Japan, which is
Smash.
nuts.
It's just like on like a just very slight
decline,
downward decline. I'd say in terms of like viewership, entrance. But again, I mean, there's still people who care, which that's goes back to the conversation where I was like. I still really respect people who are still really, really passionate, and I think that's really cool. But yeah, right now, I mean, I think it's just natural because of how the game, it's just getting old, right?
Yeah, getting more stale, and maybe the meta's not as entertaining.
There hasn't been a patch since early 2021.
Right.
No, early 2022, I think. Yeah, there
right.
hasn't been a patch since then. So it's like.
It is what it is.
We're in it's almost the end of 2025. That's just how the cookie crumbles. But
right.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what the future. We'll see what 2026 looks like. I don't know.
One thing I noticed that was interesting about this is, I don't follow every Smash tournament, but I definitely have always been a spectator, a fan, and I'm a little bit more of a Melee head than an Ultimate head, but I watch a lot of these events, right? Based on the scale of the production and the energy of the crowd and how big the show is, when I was digging through your results to do a little bit of research here, I was a little bit surprised by the number of entrants for these events, because they're in like the 400 to 600 range, and I mean some of them were big, like some of them were cracking 1,000, like really big, but I never would have thought a 400-man tournament would look like that.
What do you mean?
In terms of the crowd, the size, the energy from the players, the production, and the number of viewers on Twitch, I feel like there's a lot more fans spectating Smash relative to the player count compared to FGC events.
Well,
where FGC events for similar entrants will actually have far less viewers and far less crowd participation and like less fan energy and fan participation. Where in Smash is like there's a lot
it's just big.
Yeah, but they're not
just a really popular.
They're
game,
not
right?
entering the tournament as much. For a 400-man tournament, there's that many spectators. That's another cultural divide, I think, between Smash and FGC.
There's more of a casual audience.
Right.
More of a casual audience in Smash for sure, and can be a strength and can also be. I mean, like it's mostly a strength. I'd say it's mostly overall a good thing, but obviously, with more, I don't know if you noticed, but if a community has like a lot more casual players, it can also lead to more toxicity potentially.
Yeah.
Like I don't mean to rag on specific fighting games, but like with Tekken, I played Tekken for a while, a little bit, but that game also has a huge casual crowd, but it can also be like kind of crazy, you know, like it can just lead to craziness. I don't know. The more casuals I notice if that community has, same with Smash, right? Street Fighter is a very hardcore community. That's what I noticed.
Okay.
There are still casuals, and there's still like a lot, right? I noticed it's like the culture is very hardcore. I don't know how to describe it. It's like very serious. If that makes sense. Very, again, going to be the best and whatnot. But I think that's just natural with the level of competition that Street Fighter has as well, probably.
But it also seems to me like there's less fans that don't enter the bracket in Street Fighter. Like to me, the people spectating. It's an exaggeration, but obviously there's a lot of people, especially like the Evo and the bigger events. There's a lot of people spectating who didn't enter, but there's a higher percentage of the people in the stands watching were in the bracket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're not just there spectating; they're also entering and they're playing the tournament as well. Whereas like Smash, I was so shocked to see there's tens of thousands of people watching. There's hundreds and hundreds of people in the crowd, more than the players in the bracket, which is like very surprising to me. And but I agree with your assessment about it creating this divide and potential toxicity, because I feel like when everyone is aware, you at least enter the bracket and go 0-2, like you're part of it. And and then therefore the people who are there later in the top 8, like you were connected to them by some way. You had a connection there, and therefore they're humanized, and also you kind of respect what they did a bit more, because you know you get by to that tournament, you're gonna be real silly talking shit about the guy who's now in grand finals, right? You're talking shit, you went 0-2, like come on, dude. Like
I mean, I'd still say there's a decent amount of, I'd still say a lot of people like enter at least casually, like, you know, in the bracket, but there definitely are more like overall spectators probably.
Yeah, I think the viewership numbers I'm really like shocked by how many viewers there are. Well. Like a 400-man tournament in Street Fighter generally wouldn't get that much viewership, is more what I'm getting at. It's a little bit different depending on the tour now, because I think some events, like even UFA, was like very dense in terms of top level talents and didn't have as much
UFA
entrance.
was a pretty low-key tournament. There's only like 300 people.
Right.
I think.
Right. But
at least for Street Fighter,
the 300 people there were gunning for Capcom Cup. You're straight to the races, so it's a little different. It depends. But interesting assessment of the community. So I'm curious now. Street Fighter 6 comes out. I remember you're grinding hard in Street Fighter 6 came out. We played a bit. You're playing that Luke. You know, you're grinding.
I remember that custom. I remember.
Yeah,
those
you're like actually grinding.
JP. Yeah, JP, my season 1 Luke. You're cooking.
We're playing some top tier back then. You know, pretty good characters to pick.
I fucking missed that shit. Anyways,
so like, what was your thought process when Street Fighter 6 released? Are you just playing for fun, or was there some point where you're like, maybe I'll like really try in this game? Like, what was going through your mind at that time?
Well, it was weird because, well, at the time when I first started playing it, obviously it was like mostly like for fun thing, like, you know, oh, this might be a cool game to stream, and like maybe I'm alright at it. That was okay, you know, I got master quickly, but obviously that's not, you know, close to like super top level. Entering some online tournaments, and I was like very for a while, I'd say. But I would just play for fun. Slowly, you start seeing yourself get better. But for a long time, it was just kind of like a for fun thing. Like, it was weird. I would sometimes shift my focus to like, all right, let's play some Street Fighter, and then another month I'd be like, all right, let's just play Smash, because I'm still like signed on to Liquid and stuff.
Right.
So it was like this weird like back and forth type of focus thing, which I wouldn't suggest, but that's just how it was. I don't know, but my goals with Street Fighter were like weird for the first like year. I just kind of like played. I just went to I would occasionally enter. I definitely wasn't giving it my all per se. And then everything kind of changed when Terry got revealed.
Okay.
When that guy got revealed, and you could probably go back to my YouTube and see my reaction to that. I don't remember the last time I really excited for like some sort of media compared to, you know, I don't remember the last time I got that hype for something. After that, I started caring a lot more. Like I was like, okay, let me try to get as good as possible fundamentally. So I'd say like starting 2024, I started to focus a little bit more, because, you know, that happened, and I was just like, you know, Street Fighter 6 was still like, I mean, it's still new to this day, but like at the time, you know, it was only the second year, right? Like season 2 or something like that. And I was still playing Luke, because I mean, to this day, I still love Luke. That's still one of my, I know he gets a lot of flack, but I love Luke. that was definitely one of my favorite Street Fighter characters ever. But yeah, still playing it, still was like learning the game with him, trying to get better, and I was getting better. I wasn't at that like level per se. I got like what, 97th at Evo or something. But you know, still like trying to get better, right? Still grinding. Still like trying to balance Smash as well, and I was okay at it, but you can tell that it's just not like a sustainable. I don't know. It's just really weird balancing two games. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
Was your passion? So first of all, 97th at Evo out of 7,000 players, just for context, right? Like
that's still like 5,000 or something like that.
No, but was it this 2023 or 2024 you're talking about?
2024.
Okay. Sure.
2023, I got like 129th.
That's still out of 7,000. So I just want to give context. Like even with your side project here at the time, like that's still, it's not world-class professional. I mean, you probably tied with some or outplay some world-class professionals at the time, just to give the scale of like the competition, how I don't want to say random, but how volatile it can be. First to two giant tournament like that, how the brackets line up. Those are still like impressive placements for anyone who cares about Street Fighter. If you're like, this isn't your career, you're like, oh man, I got 128 out of 7,000. Like that's still pretty big. But so are you feeling right now like your passion for Smash is dwindling, or like your drive, like you're splitting your attention? Is it like you're
definitely
like
more passionate about
both?
Street Fighter?
Okay,
yeah,
but you felt a little obligation maybe to Smash, like that is your bread and butter, that is like what you're signed for.
Yeah, I'd say so. But you know, my passion was definitely leaning more towards Street Fighter. There's also still just newer at the time.
Did you talk to Team Liquid about this at all, or was there any conversations
no, they helped
about
me.
this?
They helped me go. Yeah, they helped me go to some tournaments actually.
Okay,
so they helped me go to
like, hey, I'm gonna try some Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, they actually helped me a lot. They helped me go to like Evo. They helped me go to Dream City. I was there. Remember, we saw each other. And also East Coast Throwdown. They helped me go to those tournaments, and you know, I appreciate them a lot for that. I didn't do amazing. I didn't do amazing at those tournaments, but like you know, it builds. It helps you. Every tournament is like a stepping stone to getting better. Right. At the end of the day, that's just how it is. And that's how a weird thing with me is that I tend to feel a lot of improvement after like an offline tournament, like major, after like a weekend of just grinding, like with a bunch of sweaty people. You know, just for me personally, I tend to get a lot better from that. That's just how it's always been for like since Smash, at least.
And I think there's some like osmosis like through the air, just like being
exactly.
Being around other people who care. I think it just reinvigorates you in that sense. Like even if you don't directly improve immediately, you have, I think, the mental refresh and stamina to keep going. It's definitely a good mental reset. Be like, all right, there's other people who care and are as crazy as I am about this thing. Let's keep going. I think that's super important than just playing online forever.
I mean, but I was getting better. You know, just kept playing, and then eventually Terry comes out September. Has it been a year? It's
been about a year, I believe.
It's been 1 year. Oh my god. Yep. Dude, doesn't time just keep going faster like every
it's gonna get worse and worse, man.
It's gonna get worse.
It's gonna get worse and worse. Don't worry.
Worse and worse. Bro, how is it already like almost October of 2025, right? Like why is the time going so fast these days? Like what the hell? It's already been a year since Terry came out.
Yeah, it's because you got your guy now. Yeah, you said you were popping off when he was released. I'm kind of curious because it's like, why is Terry so like your character? Why is it Terry? Because you know, you played a lot of Terry in Smash, but you also played Kazuya, you played Ryu, you played other characters in between. But like Terry's been that guy. Like what's up with Terry? Why is it?
I guess the Terry, it's like really my first character that I like broke out with. Like I know I also broke out with Kazuya, but like I also played them a lot when I was like first starting to get pretty good at Smash.
Right.
So it's just like when you play a character for like 6 years and he goes to another game that you also really care about, that you also like love and trying to get better, and you're like, oh wow, this is cool. Like, you know, so naturally it just leads to that evolution, I guess. Going back to last year, September 2024, you know, I'm figuring it out, and he was kind of dookie when he came out. he was pretty.
Yeah.
He was pretty. Yeah. I mean, like he was okay.
Mid. He was very mid.
He's extremely mid. He wasn't low tier or anything, but he was fucking mid. Like, what's the point when you can just play like Ken?
Yeah, and his mid-screen combos were like terrible. There was a lot of problems he had.
He didn't have a plus on block button. Like,
right.
Yeah, it was weird, but I was still having fun. And I was still improving, right? So, because like at the time, we still didn't know how good he was really. And I was still improving, so that kind of masked like the probably like how actually bad he was or whatever.
Right.
But he was extremely mid. But I'd say it changed when the December patch rolled around, bro. I think that's when he started to actually become like an actual character, you know, that people have to like be scared about, right? But yeah, I just kept playing, getting better. I started doing pretty good at these online tournaments. That's such a big blessing that FGC has, by the way. The fact that we have like these weekly, like 3 big weekly tournaments.
Yeah.
That everyone can watch and play and have fun in. I think that's I think the online tournament scene is like such a blessing to have, especially for practice.
Yeah, we don't have the local scene anymore like Smash does, but we do have instead 3 majors a week.
Yeah. Basically,
we have 3 North American majors every single week that you can log in and play.
In terms of like getting better and practicing, it's such a huge like benefit. I think that the NA scene has. I think that's such. I think anyone looking to like becoming really good or improving should always, you know, enter those. In my opinion, if you have the time, of course. I know it's really time consuming and stuff, but you know, it's just what I do, right? So I just kept entering these tournaments. Slowly started to get better. You know, I get my first top 8 at like a can opener or something. And I was like, whoa,
that's a big deal.
Actually, no. Technically, I got my first top 8 at a can opener with Ken. I beat Knuckle-Doo.
Okay.
And that was like my first. That was like, it's so funny because that was my first like big player win, I guess. Like the first like big like professional top player Street Fighter win that I got, or like to get top 8 at like a online tournament, right?
Right.
And I played Ken. I was playing Ken for a while.
Right, that was like your in-between character. I remember you had
that was like
Luke for primary focus, and then you're like, screw this, Ken for a little bit after Luke got nerfed, and then Terry came out shortly after.
And then Terry came,
yeah. Your Ken was getting pretty good. I remember I played your Ken a bit, and I was like, oh yeah, it's a little more scary. Yeah, like I get thrown once, and then I'm in the corner, and this is scary.
Dude, they nerfed everything that I abused. It's so funny. They nerfed the back throw Oki. They nerfed like. No, with Ken. They nerfed like the back throw Oki. They nerfed level 1 Oki. They nerfed like
okay, so you got out.
The
got
loop, they nerfed
and then you got out real quick at the right time.
They nerfed everything I like abused. It was so funny, but he's so broken. But anyways.
So what I'm seeing here though is like you're playing Terry. I'm curious about the transition moment, right? Because December, Terry's getting good. You're doing all these online tournaments, and it's obvious. Like you're in the mix for sure at this point. Like you're in the NA online mix. People know. Oh yeah, Riddles playing that Terry, and he's Terry's a good character. Riddles is definitely a threat. We got to watch out for him. But you're still considered, I think, at this point, like a Smash player, like, or at least you're an active Smash competitor, is what I should say. Not you're considered a Smash player. And those in the know in the FGC are like, oh yeah, Riddles is here. He's a competitor. We got to watch out for him. But then in April that year, you go to Japan, and then correct my pronunciation here, Kagaribi,
yeah, you got
Kagaribi. You go to this tournament in Japan, 2,548 players.
Yep.
It almost seems like also, by the way, in Japan, their Smash scene was growing kind of similar to how like Street Fighter was growing. It felt like Smash
everything's just bigger in Japan.
Yeah, it's weird.
Everything is bigger in Japan.
The tournament scene for Smash was getting larger year after year, while it was sort of declining slowly in North America. It felt like
the culture is just different.
Right.
So
you're going to this tournament. This ends up being your last like focus Smash tournament, and can you describe like going to this tournament? What are you thinking at this time, and what is your mindset going to Japan to play Smash Ultimate?
Well, you have to preface this because a month before I got dropped by Liquid, right? So this is the last tournament that they covered, at least partially. I think it's still to this day like the biggest Smash Ultimate tournament, right? And I got a pretty okay result. I got like 9th out of. It sucks I didn't get top 8. I was really close, but you know, it's okay. Going into it, when I was at the tournament, I had like zero pressure. I had like absolutely zero pressure. I had zero nerves. Maybe that's why I did so well. Is because I could literally feel like the fear in my like enemy's like heart when I was playing. When I was playing versus them, I'm like, wow, you are so like nervous and scared, and I'm just like vibing.
Right.
Like literally the whole time, literally the whole tournament, everyone's just playing really nervous, and I can just tell because I guess. Because of the notoriety the tournament had, but since it was like my last one, I was like kind of like whatever. I was feeling kind of whatever about it. I guess in turn it helped me get a pretty okay result. So yeah, that's how I felt. But at the same time, I was actually going to EVO Japan. It was a dual Smash Street Fighter trip.
Okay.
First week I went to Kagaribi, and then the next week after to EVO Japan. I didn't do that well. I got like 97th. I got 97th in
Right.
EVO Japan, and I was so sad because like it might be a weird comparison, but I looked back to my like last year EVO. I'm like, oh, 97th again. Like,
Right.
you know, I was like, I know it's literally it's a stupid comparison because it's literally completely different demographics and like completely different like tournament size and like overall like quality of players is completely different. But in my head, I was like, oh, 97th again. I
Same
guess I'm just
number,
making up
right?
Yeah, same number, like whatever,
Right.
you know. But it was still like, regardless of everything, it still like builded a character for me. I still got better from it, and I think after that, I don't know, Street Fighter 6, I was in kind of a weird limbo in terms of tournament results. I was getting better in the online tournament scene, but my offline tournament results were still kind of lacking. Like I got 97th there, right? That was the first tournament of this Capcom Pro Tour season, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think after that was, I believe, Combo Breaker.
I think so. Yes.
I believe it was Combo Breaker, and I could feel my improvement, but my tournament results weren't showing it. Like I got like
Right.
what, 65th, kind of mid.
And that's
Again.
your first tournament because you made the announcement, I think, when you got back from this trip that, hey, like I'm going full time now. Street
Well,
Fighter. Like
I said it in the month prior, but yeah, basically.
okay, it was the month prior. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you made that announcement before going to Kagaribi. Sorry, I'm butchering.
Yeah, you're good. You got it.
So
You're
you made
good,
that announcement beforehand.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think I
Yeah,
mixed up
it
the
was
timeline
before.
there.
It was it was before.
I see. Okay, so you had already really publicly got that weight off your shoulders, so that's why you felt unleashed almost 9th out of 2,548. So that's an awesome placement. Okay, so then EVO Japan is your first 1 week after, first time like pivoting focus entirely Street Fighter 6. So Combo Breaker is like you're in your Street Fighter 6 grind mode. Like this is where you're
I
making
mean,
your
I think it was
focus.
like literally a week after.
Right.
Literally like a week after Japan. So
yeah.
I didn't do that well, but I felt like I played good. Like you know when you like feel like you're improving and you're playing good, but the results don't show it.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. That's how I felt, at least. But I could feel improvement still. And after that, shortly, I think it was CEO after.
It would be CEO, and then but there was another
I think it's
tournament.
CEO and then Evo. Was there another tournament? What was it?
In between Evo, there was one other tournament. So you had CEO, and you got a 65th again at that tournament.
Yeah, pretty mid. I don't know. I was kind of struggling for a while, I think. Like still not really breaking out, I guess. But still trying my best, right? At the end of the day, that's all you can do.
And then
at the end of the day, even like with all this stuff, you just got to keep grinding,
right?
Streaming and stuff.
Yeah, so you're grinding this time. You're switching your focus to Street Fighter 6. Then an interesting event comes up in between CEO and Evo, which is GOML, like a Canadian tournament series. This tournament was interesting to me because for some reason, GOML and a lot of the Canadian tournaments always manage to get a very prolific representative to show up there. Daigo. Daigo is like, he's in Canada more than he's in the States, it feels like. He shows up to these regions. So GOML for Street Fighter is not a CBT event, so it's not as large. Generally, doesn't attract as much international talent. It's like a regional major in the world of Street Fighter, but it's in Toronto. It's nearby for you, and so of course you're going to be there to compete. You go to this tournament, and Daigo's there, so everyone's like, "Oh, of course Daigo's going to win free. Of course, like that's the the OG's going to take it." He ends up getting 9th.
Yeah, he lost to
kind of blown up.
He lost to Scott Vermillion.
Yes,
in winners, who is the best. I think one of the best Melty Blood players like ever. But I actually lost to him at Combo Breaker. He was playing. I don't know. He when he beat me, he's just playing amazing at that time. I'm not gonna lie. But he beats Daigo, and I get my run back on Scott Vermillion. So I beat the guy who beat Daigo.
There you go.
I guess So that was an interesting turn of events. But also, 801 Strider, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So obviously, very very good player. He loses to a Geef Smash player. Guy, the goat. He also beat Ita's CEO.
Right.
But Yeah, he lost. He lost to a Luigi player in Smash. I think that match was bad.
I'm a Luigi player.
I know you're a Luigi player. I remember.
Yeah,
I watched the streams when you were just TOing
I tried,
people.
man. I couldn't get through that netcode in Smash Ultimate. I was like,
That's
yeah, let me
terrible.
try to play some Smash. I'll take it seriously. No way. You guys are
No way.
way
Yeah,
more
no.
stronger than I am. That is insane.
no.
But yeah, it's funny you bring up Guy because there's also like Lazy Boredom, for example.
Yeah, he was a Little Mac player in Smash 4, and he's like the best Marissa in NA right now.
Yeah,
or something. I think
he's really strong.
Sure.
There's a lot of really good
Yeah.
Smash players right now, and Street Fighter 6.
For sure.
Kind of like leading the charge, I think, the most publicly. But if you're paying attention
There's
to
definitely,
the
yeah.
NA scene, there's a lot of landmine players who are really good that will beat known players that were originally from the
Yeah.
Smash community. So
Yeah.
interesting to see.
I think-
And on top of that, Canada, I think, is stepping it up, as well as this tournament shows and other results show. And you're also leading that charge. I feel like Canada was in the Street Fighter community also underrepresented for a while
Yeah.
now. They're safe
So
in
I beat-
yourself.
Yeah, I beat a lot of the people who beat. It was a weird tournament because I beat a lot of the people who beat the other good players. Basically,
That
I beat
means-
the people who made the upsets.
That means you beat
we
the
take
good
those.
players, and then you
I
end up
guess.
taking. You're being a little humble right now, man, but you end up winning GOML. You win this tournament. Daigo's
It's
there.
still-
801 Strider is there.
It's-
You know,
it
there's
still
good
mattered to me
players there.
because it still mattered to me because it's GOML. GOML, that was my first major. GOML was my first ever major tournament back in like middle of 2018.
Okay.
So back when I was like still a scrub and like everything. I don't know. But you know, it still mattered to me because it was GOML and it was sick.
You defended the home turf.
Sick. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, you did the thing in the backyard. That's
Did the
always
thing.
an
And I
important
also won
win.
the team tournament. We also
Yes,
won the
I wanted
the
to
team
bring that
tournament
up.
with Daigo.
You did the Beast Cup North Side. So Beast Cup is like Daigo's
Yeah.
tournament series where he organizes the team tournaments, and he's brought that over to events like ECT, and he has his own singles tournament series as well. So that's kind of his branded tournament series that he usually partners up to like get an extra little bit of flair for these events. And you were on the team with Thunder, your fellow Canadian, and Daigo himself.
And Daigo, yeah.
How was that, dude? Like, you teamed up with Daigo for a team tournament. What's going
all
on there? What's the
kinda-
story, and how was that experience?
I mean, it was pretty. I don't. It was pretty. We won. Like we won. It was pretty. I mean, Daigo did a lot of work too. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I even did that much. I think it was just mostly Thunder and Daigo just wrecking people. I mean, I still did some things, but yeah, no, there's crazy good players. They just won.
But how did that come
So
to
this is
be?
how it was.
But maybe it's also maybe a generational divide, right? I don't know. Do you view Daigo as like a goat? Like, is Daigo someone
of course,
who's
dude. Yeah, of course.
well, you know, some new generation players are got to look more at like the Punks and Mena RDs, right? Like, you look at it maybe like a Blaz. Like, I think he even had like a little thing about ranking players, and to him, Punk is like the guy, right? So
yeah, I would say those players are definitely still are also like GOAT level, right?
Right.
You know, there's so many amazing players, especially Mena, Punk, and I look up to them a lot. But Daigo, like, that's Daigo. Come on,
Right.
I've been around. You know, like I
But
know
you
enough
didn't see
to
his
understand
Evo
the
wins,
history.
right? You had to research it after the fact. You didn't see 2010.
I didn't see it
2009.
live or anything, though.
Right,
No,
right.
I had to like, but I saw it even when at 37. I mean, obviously, everyone's seen
Okay.
that, right?
But you've
So,
done your history, like you've dug through. The
I know my
mods
history.
and-
Yeah.
Right.
And you know,
okay.
it kind of sucks because I definitely feel like I don't know what it is, but I feel like top players. I feel like people when they fight top players, they like sometimes they over respect them, and they just play like a weird style
Mhm.
that they or just play weird compared to if they were to just view them as like a nobody. I feel like that's definitely a buff that like top players have. And I
Absolutely.
definitely felt it. I felt it when I fought Daigo at EWC, but that's way ahead. That's way ahead. We can get to that later.
But how did
so
Daigo
yeah, we
even
were
get you on the team? Like, how did that happen? 2 Canadians and Daigo. Did Daigo come up
they
approach
just-
you guys, or like what
Yeah,
happened?
I think so. I think Daigo's team just went up to me and they're just like, "Hey, you want to join this team?" I'm like, "Sure."
You said,
Sure.
I'll think about it. I'll consider it.
yeah.
You could have brushed off Daigo.
Nah. I mean, come
No?
on. Yeah, it sounded like a great opportunity. So, I mean, they just
Okay.
hit me up. They just hit me and Thunder up, and I was just like, "Yeah, of course we're gonna do that."
Yeah, of course. You don't.
Yeah.
You don't turn down the beast there when he asks to team up
Exactly.
like that. Okay.
Exactly.
So GOML, you got your winner in your belts in Street Fighter 6. You defended the home turf. And then, the big thing I think for any Street Fighter player right now is there's the two big ones. There's Capcom Cup, or three: Evo, Capcom Cup, and EWC, right?
Yep.
Evo, you don't have, I think, like a major breakout performance there. You do end up getting top 64. That's better than top 96. Like, were you a little bit happy about the number went up?
It was weird. It was weird because the guy. Okay, so I was supposed to fight. So round one winners, like I made it, right? I make it through, and then I beat the guy by round one, Alex Smith, I think, or round two. Sorry, I'm supposed to fight Nemo, right? I'm supposed to fight Nemo, and then he loses to a random like Luke player I've never heard of, Raven is Raw, right?
Oh,
and I was like, for some reason, when I saw that result, I was like, oh, I think this guy's a Kimberly player. So I was like, and Kimberly is like, I mean, she's not like super top tier, but she is like a threat, right? She is a character that you can definitely be afraid about. So I was like, okay, I'm getting mentally prepared for this Kimberly. I'm gonna hold all this mix. I'm gonna have the best defense of my life. I'm gonna have the best neutral of my life. He picks Luke, and I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, I love fighting Luke. That's my guy. Because obviously I played him for 2 years. But yeah, I beat him. Then the next round I fight Fudo, and Fudo is that guy's good. Yeah, that guy's really really good. He destroys me at He destroyed me at Combo Breaker. That's the last 2 winners. Destroyed me. It was like 4 rounds straight, 4 minutes set. Like it was destruction. Evo, this time I take a round every game, but he still beats me. Like I kept it closer, but he still beats me.
Right.
And it is what it is. It starts the Japanese Ed arc. So I lose to him, and then I beat some, I don't know if they're Japanese or Chinese, but it's some Asian Ed, right? An Ed from Asia. I beat him. And then I fight Sahara, another Japanese Ed, and then I was up a game and like should have been around, but he takes it overall, and I was like, damn. I was playing really nervous at the end. I don't know why, but yeah, he takes it to like I think 49th at Evo, which was my highest placement. Is still my highest placement at like an Evo tournament to this day, but like it was still like kind of. I think it was my highest placement like CPT tournament overall, but like still like whatever, right?
Right.
Yeah. So that happens, and I'm just like, oh man, it's weird. For a long time, I was struggling, I'd say, with my results like that, right? Stuck in this like weird 49, 65th limbo. I mean, it could happen again in the future, right? But that's just how it was. And then Thunder just goes up and he's just like, you want to go to Saudi Arabia? You want to go to EWC, bro? And it's like, I was like, I'll think about it. Because, I'm free agent. Traveling these events costs a lot of money.
Right.
And whatnot. I completely forgot that I won Sajam Slam in the middle. we were so focused on the tournament.
I'm trying to brush this off. I don't know, man. We have to bring up that one. Yeah. Leading into Evo, you did end up winning Sajam Slam.
That's how I was able to get into Evo because of Sajam himself. Yeah, because remember, same for you, right?
Right. Well,
he was able to. We both got the trip. Right?
Yes, correct. Top 2 teams there got the trip, but I mean, I was going to go to Evo regardless. It did help me out.
I was probably going to go regardless too.
Right, but it sounds like what you're saying is like you're trying to make this work. You're recently dropped. You're trying to figure out your career in fighting games at this point. So like this is like you kind of need it.
Yeah, I think
it's more than just want. It's like this is something that it's going to help you in your career to proceed in this dream that you're chasing here.
Yeah, and I just brought it up because I think it was an interesting arc in like my development for Street Fighter, like coaching other people and like helping them out and trying to win as a team was definitely a refreshing experience. And trying to clutch with a team. No, sorry.
No, you clutched like crazy. I did want to bring that up. Like your team, Scooch, Shumimi, Dododoya, and Box and yourself. You ended up doing really well in the round robin. You guys were ranked second in the round robin. And then you end up clutching it out for the actual overall thing. And a lot of those matches in the bracket, from what I recall, they came down to the coaches matches, right?
Yeah.
For me,
yeah.
I was kind of coasting until the very end, which was my goal. I was trying to coach my team to carry me to the very end.
I think for the most part, my team also put in a lot of work as well.
Yeah. So how was that experience? Like, you're relatively fresh in terms of focusing on Street Fighter 6, and also you're a younger guy, and you're coaching people who are older than you. How is this whole dynamic of being now a leader of a squad and having to build them up to do this team tournament and be like a leadership position like that?
I think it was really fun. I don't know. I think I got like players who played characters that I'm like pretty familiar with. Like Box played Luke. Dodo played Terry, so I could teach them, the intricacies of the characters and help them a lot. Shumimi played JP, who like I don't play, but I fought a lot of JPs. I fought a lot of JPs. I know what the cheap shit is. Literally every time I said level 2, she won. Like that shit is cheap. But I was like, and Scooch I think played Ryu.
Yeah.
And everyone knows Ryu. I played. He was my first name before Luke. Actually, I was able to teach them the intricacies, just like the small fundamentals. But you got to take it like bit by bit. Character knowledge. Like it's so crazy because when you look back, it's like you take a lot of stuff that you learn like for granted, like combo execution, the intricacies of the mechanics, like reacting to DI, reacting to drive rush, parrying, like all this stuff. It's like you take it for granted when you reach a certain level, but for a long time, it's like when you view it from those perspectives, I don't know, it's interesting because I think Street Fighter 6 is very meticulously designed around like as a game for like not just for top players, but for like beginners, intermediate. It's built around for everybody, right? But yeah, no, it was really cool just working together as a team, trying to I tried to be like good with my mentality. Tried to like boost team morale and like just like not to like make people. I try not to give like too much pressure on them. Just like I was like try to have fun with it. I try to still give tips and whatnot. Breathe, drink some water. Typical competitor mindset shit.
Right.
Just the accumulation of like what I've learned, I guess. Trying to like transfer that, and it worked in some way. It turned out being good.
That's awesome. Yeah, your team. Like even just looking at someone like Scooch, right? I think it's always interesting how, from an experienced fighting game player like yourself, who's been playing from such a young age, and then to coach someone in that tier 1, you always have to strip away all those preconceived notions and like try to focus in on what they are able to do now with their level of experience. So like Scooch is doing like the classic Ryu strat. He like jumps away and then does like jump, heavy kick and sweep. Right?
I mean, it worked.
That's a great strategy at that level of play. And then he even had the sneaky.
He has some great execution too.
Yeah, he did pull off a decent amount of combos, and which was surprising considering how he's playing the neutral. Like I was surprised when the combos came together too. I was like, crap! Like he has the runaway and the combos, and he even did walk up, neutral jump to bait out wake up throw tech. With heavy kick, and I was like, "Oh no, that's the at tier 1."
I'm teaching him too much sauce.
That's the brain destroyer. Like, first of all, that people want to tech throws on wake up. Like, so was that something you taught him? Actually, did you?
I kind of just taught him like the general basics of like decision making, like what people. I tried to tell them like what people like to do, like on wake up. Like, oh, they're gonna DI here. They're gonna wake up. Whatever here. And just try, and they would sometimes mess up, but like it's about the learning experience at the end of the day, and it worked out. But yeah, I think that built a lot of character. I think that was definitely a cool experience.
Yeah, how was that like? You because you literally did have to win the coaches matches a number of times to proceed through, right? I think you did it against Chakotay's team. And,
Chakotay.
And then also in the grand finals against myself, you went up to play. So like, how was that experience winning for your team there to actually get that done in the end?
It's interesting because when I feel like I play better with pressure, like with tournament pressure, or like I feel like I like really, really lock in. That's just how I don't know. That's just always how I've been. Like, I really enjoy playing in that environment. I feel like calm. I feel like that's when I play the best. me personally. You know, when you really give it your all and you really care about something. So, I mean,
Right.
it's just how it became.
I mean,
you know?
it showed, man. You beat my ass that day, man. I thought maybe, in the group stages, round 1, we kind of had a close set. I was like, oh, maybe I can hang. And then you had you definitely turned it up. I'll say.
I locked it.
You locked in.
Yeah.
You got it done. Yeah, that was a big win for you. It was awesome to see. Like you're one of the newer guys, I think, in the whole squad too, right? You know, right. So to come in and get that done with your team was really cool to see. So you finish up Stadium Slam. You have Evo. Thunder convinces you to go all the way to Saudi Arabia.
Yep.
On a whim.
Yep.
So you weren't planning on going because you already tried to qualify for EWC. I mean, Combo Breaker, CEO, Evo, those are all EWC qualifiers. So there's no more chances aside from the LCQ. But the LCQ, it's a kind of a weird format. It's definitely structured because they just want everybody to go.
It was a weird tournament.
Yeah. So all of top 8 gets into the EWC, which is, the $300,000, $1 million overall prize pool tournament. So people want to qualify for that and, get a piece of the pie, right? So you're incentivized to go because it's like, I don't have to win. I just got to get top 8. But then that brings
still get money if you go down, but
right. That brings in all the competition.
Yeah. So, man, that trip was so weird because I was like really jet lagged, and every day I was getting like I would like go to sleep at like 2 a.m. right?
Mm-hmm.
And this tournament is like the most I ever studied. Like studying for players and stuff and just how they play, their habits, I'd say is a really, really big help. I mean, I'm sure Mena has talked about this with you.
Mm-hmm.
But it definitely helps in like learning about their character, their habits, for the tournament is really nice. So I would like go to sleep at like 2, and then I would wake up at like 5 because of my jet lag. It was really weird. I'd get like not a lot of sleep, but it was still like fun. Like I win my round 1, and in my round 2 I fight Take Piano, who's like the top ranked JP. He was like number 2 CFN at the time, so I was like, oh shit, this guy's gonna be big deal. And it was a pretty close set. It was 2-1, but I could definitely feel like the lack of tournament experience when I fought him, because he's like a little kid. He's like 16 years old or something like that, and it was his first out of region tournament. So I could definitely like feel like in his gameplay, he definitely wasn't as confident as like if I were to look up like a CFN replay.
Right.
You could definitely feel the more you do this stuff, like the more you do this competition stuff, you definitely feel nervousness, like fear in an opponent's heart, right?
Right.
Just when you're playing them, right? You can just tell. So I was just able to tell that if I Daigo, and this goes back to the conversation where I was saying that, these top players, sometimes people respect it too much. I definitely respected them way too much. Like
right.
I was doing good in the first game. Like I should have, like there were times where I would be like, oh, should I EXDP here? And I was like, no, I don't want to do it. I'll be a scrub. And then the interaction happens. I'm like, wait, it would have worked.
Right.
Like you can't be afraid of these guys. Like you really just gotta go with your gut, But he beats me in a close set 2-0, and I just beat some guy in losers to make it out.
When you drop to losers, though, I mean, this is fairly far away from top 8, right? That's round 3 to Daigo.
Yeah.
And you respected him too much, and you doubted you second guessed your decision making.
Yeah, basically.
And you're all the way in Saudi Arabia. Like you're so far away from home. You're jet lagged. Like, what is your thought when you drop into losers bracket? Are you like, oh, why did I come here? Or are you like, hell no, it's time to lock in? Like, what is your thought process at that moment?
I don't know. At the time, I just didn't really care about the result. I just like really just hell-bound focused on studying for my opponents, just playing a lot or trying to play, before. And I'd write notes. Also, this tournament was weird because mid-set coaching was allowed. So my boy Thunder, he didn't really even give like that in-depth like gameplay coaching. He mostly just gave like mentality stuff, just like hey calm down, like and shit, right?
Right.
So that in part like definitely helped me. But yeah, I beat Giowa. My next round was Oil King, Terry player, and he was actually up a game.
Terry player. That's what you did say. Oil King, for people listening, that's the Rashid player for many years. So
Yeah, I know that's the Rashid
You're
player.
almost
I
like
know he won Evo
downplaying
Japan.
You're downplaying Evo Japan champion, by the way. He won
I
the
know,
final
I
Evo
know.
Japan for.
I actually didn't know he won Evo Japan
for Street
until
Fighter 5.
after.
I feel bad for him because he won it right before Street Fighter 6 came out, so I feel like that gets lost to time. Yeah, Evo Japan champion. So just trying to play him up for the audience
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
But he's
I know,
playing
I know.
Terry
He's
now.
very good.
So
He's very good. Yeah, he's
you're
playing
going
Terry.
in the Terry mirror.
Yeah, I managed to make the comeback 2-0. So I managed to beat him. And I forgot what was the order after. I think it was Chris Wong.
Chris Wong's up next.
It kind of sucked because the tournament schedule was so weird. We had to wait like 2 hours before our next match when it could have just happened like immediately, but there was like weird breaks in between. I felt like it kind of sucks because I felt like he got like pre-tilted from that experience.
It's getting iced.
Yeah. I was like, damn. Like he's definitely more pissed off about this than me. He won the first round, but I managed to beat him. Then I fought Takamura.
But so far, like these wins, you've beaten international players before, like well-known players. Chris Wong, second at Capcom Cup 2023, Oil King, Evo Japan champion. Are you feeling at this moment like, wait, I'm making a run right now? Like, what are you just purely locked in, process focused?
I definitely do have like the back thought in my head of like, oh shit, I've never really like I've beaten good players in online tournaments, not really offline. That was like my first time really beating like multiple world-class players
in a row
offline. So
in a row
yeah,
offline. And then at this point, you're 3 rounds away from actually making it, right? Like, yeah. Suddenly, it seems so far away when you lose to Daigo, but then you're chipping away at it. You're halfway there, and you're putting a run together.
So I fight Takamura, and I managed to win 2-0. Europeans don't really know the Terry matchup as well because there's like no, and like every time I talk with like a top European player in Street Fighter, like the Street Fighter community, they'd always be like, yeah, there's like no Terrys here, right? Or, like no super top level Terry mains, I guess. Right. NA has a lot of that. There's some of that in Asia, right? But I'd say NA maybe has the most for some reason. But like, it doesn't really exist in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the litmus test for if someone knows a Terry matchup. If you throw medium fireball and they parry, and they hold parry,
and they don't at least drive rush.
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, this guy doesn't know. Like that's the big test. So that happened against Takamura. I managed to win that, and then it was the next day after.
Kobaya's the next one, and walk us through this game.
I mean, like, yeah, in the back of my head, I was like, oh, cool, I'm making a run, but like, whatever. You gotta focus on, when you're in the competition, you gotta focus on like what's ahead of you, right? Like what's in front of you. So I still was trying to think in the moment, studying for these players. And then Kobayan is next. I've always felt comfortable. Like people were, when I brought it up, people were like scared for me. They're like, oh shoot, that's really hard, right? And like he is very good, but I've always felt confident in the Terry Geef matchup. I don't know if you felt the same, but like
I hate the Terry Geef matchup.
You hate it? You hate it? I love it. I love it. I don't know. I've always felt like Terry had really like the low fireball, the low forward, and like light kick. I feel like is really hard for. And I feel like his offense is so good against Geef as well, but that's just Geef having bad defense. But anyways, Kobayan was beating the crap out of me until I got a level 3 reaction. Like I did standing light kick drive rush into level 3, and I had like a little like pixel left, and it kind of just shifted the momentum of the whole set, and I just like won.
Yeah, so to be clear, you didn't have enough life left to be able to counter DI.
No, I would have been chipped. I was burnt out, and I would have been chipped.
You would have been chipped, and you had nothing. You had no way to counter the DI aside from breaking through it somehow or interrupting it somehow. And so that's why Kobayan on defense, like, I'm just going to press DI here because if you do anything, you're just going to die. And so you did stand like a driver's cancel, which actually puts you into burnout. Interacting with his DI, he armors through it. How did you react almost immediately, dude, with a full-blown level 3 on that driver's cancel, and anything else you would have been dead? How did that come to be? Like, what happened there?
I was on 2.5 hours of sleep that day, dude. I don't know. Like, when you're in competition, dude, and like and you feel the adrenaline, it's like nothing else matters, and like everything is just like your whole focus is just on that match, you know. And I just felt really, even with like my severe lack of sleep and jet lag, I still felt really locked in, I guess.
Right.
I was able to get that and win the set. After I beat Kobayana, I fight Ryusei.
And this is the match. This is the top
yeah,
8
this is the match to get
qualifier
it.
to get
I
into
win the
Esports
first
World
game.
Cup.
Yeah, I win the first game pretty dominantly. He's getting coached by like Kintio, the best player in Japan. I'm like, oh shit. But I can. You know, it's funny. I know some like Street Fighter terms. Like he would say like.
Okay.
He would say like Shagami Ju punch, which means like crouch and beam punch.
Okay.
Or he would say like the heavy punch. And I was like, you think I don't understand, but I know some things you're saying.
Oh, they said crouching medium punch and heavy punch. That's a lot of intel right there.
I understand. But yeah, it was, I mean, super close. He barely won game 2. I managed to win game 3 just by like checking. I forgot what it was. I checked some move with crouching medium punch and I got a level 3 combo. And I qualified, and it was a crazy thing. It was just like all this stress, you know. Well, I was like, "Whoa, I actually did it."
Mm-hmm.
It's funny too because I accidentally disconnected my. I don't know if it was me, by the way. I don't know if it was me or Ryusei, but a controller disconnected during the super art cutscene. But like we both, anybody who plays Street Fighter knows that he was dead. Like
right.
Anybody who actually plays, and he knew he was dead. I knew he was dead. So it was like, and I think regardless of the CPT rules, he would have got the loss anyways, because if you unpause and I win, because like I did win, then it would just be handed to me. Like I looked at the rules. It was interesting because Japanese Twitter was like canceling me for being
whoa,
rude.
You were getting flack from
like
the Japanese community.
I was getting canceled in the Japanese Street Fighter community. They're like, oh my god, dude, why don't you just why don't you just sit down? You're being so disrespectful. I'm like, damn, bro, what the hell? So I was like, even when I'm like doing this huge accomplishment, I'm still getting flack. But I mean, if you look at the rules, it's another interesting culture clash between the NA and Japanese scenes. In NA, people pop off like that all the time, and no one everyone's like, oh, let's go, nobody cares. But I guess it's different in Japan. Yeah, I still apologize for it. I apologize to Risu. I mean, he didn't. Right. He's been to these tournaments. He doesn't care. Like,
it's gonna be the salty fans in Japan. That's funny. The fans are getting salty in Japan.
Yeah,
but I guess it's
obviously
experience.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I just said he didn't care because he's been to some of these tournaments already, right?
Yeah. You definitely want to avoid the pause though. That would be my recommendation. Do the pop off, but you don't want to. And plus, we saw what happened with Punk. That next week.
That was crazy.
So
I saw that in the backstage, like live as it was happening, and I was like, "Oh my god!" But anyways, so I make it to EWC. I'm in Saudi for another week.
How did that work? Because the EWC LCQ was also a couple of days, I believe. They separated by days, which is strange for a tournament of that size, and then it's almost a full week break before the actual main event. How did you plan just logistically? Like, we're like, oh crap, wait a minute, I'm here for a whole nother week, I'm not going home. Like, what was your mindset? Like, wait, this actually happened? Holy crap, I'm actually in the EWC, I'm here now.
I did bring enough clothes just in case.
Okay.
I did bring enough clothes.
So
just
you believed a little ahead of time.
I believed a little ahead of time. I was like, oh wow, I actually made it.
Right.
So you know what's funny actually? Air Canada was actually going through a lot of strikes, so my original flight got fucking canceled.
Okay.
Like my original flight, like if I were to not qualify and I had to go back, it got canceled. So if I didn't make it, I was fucked.
You're stuck in Saudi Arabia.
I was screwed. I was literally screwed. So I was literally like, wow, I was like very needed in the moment. But I mean, they offered us like hotel and whatnot. Just hanged out with a bunch of players, played a lot before the actual real tournament. The tournament comes around. EWC first round, Mena. Mena, and the other side is Kawano and Momochi.
Yeah, you had maybe it's hard to say for sure because of how stacked the whole event is. But if I had to pick a group that was the most stacked, I would point at potentially that group. That and like the Shanghai Punk. So
every Bennett beat me 3-0, but everyone was like, oh man, you played so good, like your neutral was so like everyone I talked to was like, oh, that was so close though. It really came down to like the little interactions. But I mean that's just what happens when you're acclaimed for this long, right? Mena He's been doing this for so long. He has that clutch factor, right? Caught me hesitating. Did like the clutch moments on me. That made a difference, and he was like, "Yep, got me."
Right.
But the Momochi set, god damn it.
Yeah, you're going up against Momochi, a legend of the game, and it's such a good back and forth set the entire time. And you are,
I get perfect. Yeah.
You're swinging on him, like you're making.
I guessed right like crazy.
And
until the very end.
That last game, I went back to just double check the whole flow of it. Right, you start out checking his round start drive rush on the very last game, last round. Stand like a drive rush cancel. You get him all the way to the corner. You get a full level 3 combo. He's down to like 15%, maybe. Like he's down like to the wire.
Yeah.
And you go for the meaty after one of the knockdowns, and he perfect parries you.
I was like, God fucking damn it. I think I started panicking. Really unfortunate because I don't know. My mind just went like haywire after that perfect parry. I guess that's just how it goes, right? You know, you learn from these experiences. But he manages to clutch on me. I'm just like, God damn it, dude. It was so close, and people were like, "Oh, but you played so good." And I was like, "Yeah, but I didn't clutch when it mattered." But it's just the nature of competition. Like it's gonna happen, right?
Right.
You might get really close, doing something. You might choke at the end, but it's just how it is, and you learn and grow from it. And I did.
Did you leave that tournament? I mean, I'm sure it was a disappointing result overall to go out in groups like that after one of your biggest at that time Street Fighter 6 accomplishments, right? Getting through the LCQ. Yeah. But did you go home from that tournament feeling more motivated, inspired? Because this is like a sign of success. Like, yeah, wait, I'm doing something. I'm hanging with the big dogs.
Yeah, overall it was a net positive for sure. I mean, the whole experience was a net positive, of course.
Right.
Like even though I didn't do well at the actual tournament, just like making it somehow at the LCQ, seeing all these people playing with them, getting better. Overall, it was a great experience. Overall, it's very weird, but it was a great experience.
Yeah, I can imagine it being weird. It's a whole weird event, no matter which way you slice
it's pretty weird. Yeah,
right. But then, after this, it leads into UFA, right? Pretty shortly after. Did you already have plans to go to UFA, or were you like, oh crap, I'm doing good, I better start packing my bags and go to France? Like, what was your thoughts?
I think I was gonna go anyways. I think UFA is probably, spoiler, it's probably my last. I don't think I can go to. Well, I can't go to France anymore because registration's closed. I don't think I'm gonna go to China. I doubt it. Like especially.
Let's see about that.
2000. That's like. Well, I mean, we'll see, but like, I don't. As a free agent, it's kind of hard. But Sajam was actually able to help me for UFA, and I was actually able to go with him. Shout out to him again. Give me the opportunity.
So actually, talk about that. So you were debating about UFA, like you're trying to make ends meet essentially to make this happen because you're a free agent now. Like, how did that come to be that Sajam offered to help you? We've been talking
we've been talking for a while with that, and he was just, I don't know, I think it was from like a tweet saying like, I want to send some gamers out to travel, and I hit him up and he was like, yeah, sure. And because of him, I was able to go to UFA. I don't know, my motivation, it was weird. My motivation after EWC, it was like both high and low at the same time. And let me elaborate. So I went through some personal stuff. I'm not gonna get too into it, but definitely put me in like a rut, I think, mentally. So it's like going into UFA, I wasn't playing as much or like super grind heavy as before. And my motivation of the game, even like now, it's weird because the general consensus of the game state right now, people think it's kind of stale. I don't want to give too much flack. I still think Street Fighter 6 is an amazing game, don't get me wrong, but I think it could use some more refreshing updates. I mean, we're seeing Steve Viper now, like that's going to be all. I think that's something to look forward to. I'm actually very excited for that. That's something to look forward to. Hopefully some balance changes. I would love that.
We'll see.
Maybe that's wishful thinking.
Right.
I'm motivated in the fact that I can start doing, my results are starting to get a bit better, but the game is like in a weird state right now, I think. But I still went into it because I was like, fuck it, why not?
Right.
Tournaments are fun. Going to UFA, we actually did another team tournament. It was me, Noah the Prodigy, and Thunder as well. And the tournament was so funny. The team tournament was was first to one. It's not. It wouldn't be like a set. It would be like
Right.
literally just you do one game and then next guy, one game, next guy.
Right.
But Noah is the best fucking
Yeah.
first to one team guy ever. Bro,
Unbeatable
we were
in that format, man.
We would be close to losing, and then Noah just, oh my god, it was so, like, it's so funny, like, seeing, like, I love Noah. I know he gets a lot of flack. I know he gets a lot of flack around the FGC, but that's my guy. You know, been friends with him for a while, but yeah, he would just clutch up in Noah fashion. I was just like, wow, this is fucking hilarious. It's also awesome. But yeah, we managed to clutch it out. Thunder actually clutched it out versus a big Japan team. I think it was Sahara, Itazan, and Ryukichi.
Nice.
Managed to like just beat them all in one go. The last one, we there was no cash prize, but we got medals. So
Okay, there you go.
You know, there's that little aspect. That was fun. And then the actual tournament comes around. You know, you might say I act too humble, but this tournament was really weird because everyone had really hard pools, right? Like the pools, like the pool one were really stacked. My top two seeds both DQ'd.
Ooh. Okay.
I don't know if you remember this, but
No, who were they?
it was Hikaru and Goichi. And they were both sick.
Okay. Yeah, I
'Cause,
was,
like,
I was
I-
kind of wondering. I went through the bracket. I did get your path, but
So
all
in
fair
that
to
sense,
the players, I didn't recognize some of the names.
yeah,
in
I was
that
like,
round one.
So I went through round one in, no offense, kind of a Mickey fashion. Like, that's just how it is, right? Sometimes, but I mean, like, you know, that's just how it is with tournaments. Some people get luckier than others. But starting the next rounds, obviously, it's gonna get a little harder.
Right.
I fight Ryusei again, who beat Shen, right? So it's a hot EWC run back, right? So this is when it starts to get a little harder. Close to one set, but I managed to clutch it out again.
You're his demon
And
now,
that's-
man.
In a nasty whiff punish game one.
And did you pop off too early, or did you?
No, I didn't pop off.
You learned your lesson
I don't
from
think-
the Japanese
no,
stream
no.
monsters.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I managed to beat him again, and then it's the big guy next. It's Blas.
The big
Blast
15-year-old kid from Chile.
Yeah. But I've always ran casuals with him. And he would win most, but I was able to like hold my ground. You know, I was still able to like take a couple games.
Right.
So going into it, I was pretty confident that I could like do it. You know, like I didn't really. Again, I try not to care about the result too much. I just try to like play my best. Win game one pretty convincingly. He beats me game two convincingly, and then game three is down. It's down to the last round, I think. And he gets a CA on me. I'm almost burnt, but he accidentally like he messes up and runs into like my jump heavy kick, my neutral jump heavy kick.
Right.
He tried to like do a driver's DP, but I think there wasn't enough frames for him to like probably do it. I managed to win. And I was like, and if you look back at my camera, I'm like shocked. I'm like, whoa, I just beat this guy, right? That's probably my biggest like upset Street Fighter win.
Yeah, that was huge
I
because
think
looking
ever.
into that bracket, everyone, I think from that point, because that was that the qualifier for top 8? People were looking at Blas like, oh, he's the favorite. You know, he's been on such a tear. Second in EWC, second at Capcom Cup. EWC was not too long ago. So like, oh, he's hot right now. Like he's proving that he can be consistently at that level at the biggest super premieres we have. And then you know, the Smash player
somehow
beat Blas.
crawled into this top 8. Yeah. So I was feeling kind of weird about the bracket until that moment. I was like, okay. Now we're in this shit, right?
Yeah, sometimes you get
And
lucky
winners-
brackets, man. Like,
Yeah.
even
Just how
for
it is.
me, like I remember some of my biggest personal accomplishments. I got there, like a Fudo wasn't there that I was supposed to play early in pools. But then after that, you know, I ended up going on a run.
You start being the big guys.
Yeah, I
after
took
that.
Fudo's spot in the prep in the path. Maybe Fudo would have got me, but he wasn't there. You know, who knows, right?
Yeah,
Gotta run with
it. Yeah, no, and then if I Kings Vega, oh my god.
Yeah, this
That match
is
so weird,
top
dude.
8. So this is
Yeah.
the next day, right? So you get to sleep on it, or was it all the same
Terry,
day? I forget.
No. It was same day.
Okay, so you didn't even have that much
But-
time to dwell on it.
Yeah, but oh man, dude,
Top 8
Blanca
winners
Terry,
of a premiere.
Blanca Terry is such a weird matchup. I
Mm.
don't know. I can't really tell if it's like bad. It's unfortunate that we can't use like light fireball really
Right.
because that just gets over. But I feel like in terms of like the normal footsie battle, it's not so bad. But it also comes down to matchup experience, and I don't think NA has like that many Blancas compared to like I actually fought a really strong EU Blanca. Don't get me wrong, there's some good NA Blancas, but I don't think it's really to that like Meta RD Kings Vega level, right?
Right.
So like finding that and like I think when you don't know a matchup too well, like the defense is like probably one of the hardest parts because you're like you don't even know what you're defending against, right? So he hits me like I remember having a really strong game 1 against him, and then he just starts like turning it up with that aggression, and then I just got overwhelmed, and he managed to beat me. The set definitely felt winnable. Like I definitely could have done it, but I made mistakes on my part, and I realized that.
Were you feeling any type of way though, being on stage for a top 8 premiere, like beyond just the matchup itself and the process of playing? Like, was there any other thoughts in your mind, like, oh crap, like I'm actually in the mix right now? Like I set out with my goal to pivot to Street Fighter 6, and then these are the events that I am aiming to do well at. These top 8s give me points for qualifying for the Capcom Cup. Like I'm doing the process and it's yielding results. Like, was there any thought about that, or are you still just focused on the process? When
I was actually in the match, no. I try to, when I play in tournament, I try to think about only just again what's in front of me. Like common question that I get is like, oh, how do you not get nervous? Because I think that's a trait of mine. I don't really get nervous at tournaments. I do sometimes, right? Like, for example, that last match at Evo. I do sometimes, but in general, I'm not feeling like an overwhelming sense of anxiety that's going to affect my play to like the extreme level. That might be because of the fact that I've been doing this for so long since I was like a little kid, right?
Right.
Since the Smash days, right? So I know what it feels like to play at a tournament. I know what it feels like to play on the big stage. Like, sure, it's a different game, but it's pretty similar environment, right?
Right.
I've been on a big stage for a major before. I actually like it. Like, it's really fun. It's really fun. I feel like I'm able to focus on the game, but also like the crowd. You know, that's awesome. I think it's just fun. I don't know. I think it's just a cool experience. I don't really think it negatively affects my play. I don't have like these. I try not to have these overthinking thoughts. I mean, sometimes eventually you're gonna think about them, but generally I don't really think about it. But yeah, no, lose to King Vega, doable set, but he got me. He played very well. Then I fight Noah in losers, and it was pretty close. But I don't like. I watched your reaction, and when I hit the level 1 on his like, he did like driver's DI, I think, to bait like a DP.
Yeah, that was a crazy round.
That was a crazy play. I was like okay.
you're meeting Noah with his energy. Like Noah has his style, which is very Noah is like a freight train building momentum, and so you gotta shut it down.
Noah's very good, but I played Noah a lot. Like we run sets all the time, so it's like. And also he's my friend, so it's like, you know, I feel like when you play with a friend, it's different compared to someone you don't know at all. But I managed to beat him. Which is a good win as well. That was very good. And I fight Blaz again, and no Johns, but this was like really when the tournament fatigue started to happen. Right. But he played better than me. Like he did. He definitely cleaned it up. I literally saw. I was in the backstage and I literally saw this guy Blaz and his dad VOD reviewing his loss against me. Like I'm assuming it was the loss. I didn't see the footage, but I'm assuming it was like when he lost. He was reviewing like our set, right? I was like, wow, that's
the generational power on man. Yeah, like Blaz's dad is like, a good Street Fighter player himself, and so he has. You're fighting two people.
I'm like, wow, this is crazy. I'm like, it was very beautiful to see. Like even though he was my enemy. Right, like even though he was like my opponent, I was like, wow. Seeing that was like, seeing him and his dad like travel together and like, you know, like grow together and get better. The Street Fighter stuff is like, I don't know. I always think it's just beautiful. Like when I see it.
We're at that era where now we have like multiple generations of people in the FGC who have been through it, right? So. We're actually finally seeing that cross-generational support in that sense. More so, like, I mean, like, you know, parents have supported for a long time in terms of like, you know, getting you access, travel, taking care of you. But it's a little bit different when they've done it themselves. You know, it's a very different dynamic where they're like they've lived that experience and now are transferring that experience to their child and providing guidance from firsthand experience. And because you were that position, and not the exact same way, but like you were a young child going to tournaments, and it sounds like your parents were providing for you and helping you, at least allowing you to get places, but they never lived that themselves. They couldn't firsthand tell you how to VOD review for your opponent in your Smash tournament just because they didn't come from that background.
Yeah, I mean, my dad, he supports me now and everything, right? But he wasn't like he would let me, but he wasn't like the hugest fan.
Sure.
I guess.
I mean,
but which makes sense.
You're in school as a kid and you're trying to go 10 hours. Like, to me, it's still crazy that you said he let you go 10 hours into America for a tournament. So sounds like he was a little understanding, at least to a degree, to not be like, hell no, what the hell.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's just really cool to see. And obviously it worked. I mean, he beat me. I got weird, like, dude, I don't know if you ever get this, but I got like weird. I would try to do like burn knuckle and I accidentally get level 2.
Oh yeah,
in the middle
that input overlap is so common.
I hate that, dude. It's so like I get it once in a blue moon. I don't get it like super often, but when I feel like I get it in the times that matter the most.
Right.
Like that time, like I got that input like 2-3 times or something by accident. It's my fault at the end of the day. Like, it's just how it is, right? Hopefully just get better for next time, right? But yeah, that was my tournament. I got 4th highest placement at a Street Fighter tournament.
Yeah, 4th place,
so.
200 CPT points. I mean, that puts you right now ranked 20th in the world on the CPT leaderboard. What was your feeling after this? You're heading back home, getting on the plane. Like, we're like, wow, like I'm there, or is it still? It sounds like you're a very process focused person. Like, you're not like these highs don't really.
I don't really
impact you.
Think
like
about
that.
the points. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't really think about the CPT points that often. Like, I know everything is like Capcom Cup and stuff, but I'm still right now. I'm trying to focus on like what's in front of me and like just trying to get better for like my own personal life and like just getting better at the game. And also trying to work harder in the content creation, right? Because I don't know, I'm not going to Rio France, so there's guaranteed that like we're kind of in like a weird like off-season break period, at least for me. So I'm just trying to focus on like the stuff that I can work with, it's like streaming, trying to work back on my YouTube again. Although I do feel a little burnt from the game, like I feel like I hope Steve Viper changes stuff, like and that's really soon, right? So something to look forward to at least.
Right.
Yeah, no, I've been actually been hitting the gym a lot.
Nice, man. You've been flexing a little on Twitter, I've seen.
I'm still not that strong. I'm not that strong. Like, I'm really not that strong. I was actually just able to bench like 135. Like in like consistent reps.
Hey, that's
like recently.
That's a milestone, man. Like,
it is a milestone. It is
just
milestone,
like with fighting games smashing the PR thing, right? You go on social media and see people like 15-year-old kids repping 425 for 18 reps. that shit's not real life. Like, real life, you start from whatever your base is, and then every milestone matters. So exactly. If you're there working on your personal life, working on your fitness, and working on your content creation, sounds like you're focus on the process right now of just growing in all these different domains.
And I definitely do think that it helps you become a better fighting game player overall. Like, it just makes you feel better. I feel like your reactions, like your way of like anything that helps like your mental in some sort of like physical way, like I think helps tremendously especially for a game like Street Fighter 6, where it's just the game is just so, I don't know, it's just so, it can be really crazy sometimes, right?
Yeah, you can just lose.
You can just lose sometimes, but having that like mental way to like bring out that stress, I guess, or just like get stronger. Another avenue of like getting,
it's like development,
better.
Right?
Getting development. Yeah, exactly.
I think that's one thing that's attracted me to like fitness as well, is like, if you stick with it and you improve and find structure, it yields results over time. You put work in and you get results out, right? It's like a linear one-to-one relationship. It takes time and there's lagging results and indicators. So that's the part I think people get tripped up on, is we need instant gratification as humans. But if you can start getting the routine going, you start to see those lagging results as an indicator of, okay, I did put in the work and I got results out of it.
Exactly.
And I think with competition, what happens is you plateau and it becomes very difficult to feel like the work you're putting in is yielding results. So I think that's a good
plateauing for a while.
Yeah, I think that's a good avenue you found, because you have something else where like, I'm putting in all this work into Street Fighter. and then I get throw looped and I lose. Was it even worth it? At least if I go to the gym, I know that if I put this work in, I get this result out. I think it calms that tilt factor down because you have some sort of like, I do work, I get results, and it's a lot more correlated. Even though it does correlate in fighting games, it's just, it can be hard to feel that sometimes, right?
I mean,
and you need it for your sanity.
I think it just helps with like life, just overall like life quality, even outside of Street Fighter, of course. I mean, I'm sure you will relate, but yeah, it's just how I've been trying to eat better. You know, I think that's one of the hardest parts with growing at the gym is trying to like count your calories and like, because I'm trying to bulk right now, but I've been trying to bulk for like years.
You're one of those, huh? You undereat.
It's hard. It was weird. I was skinny for a while, and then I was overweight at some point when I was a kid. Then I went back to extremely skinny, and now I'm like working. I was like working my way up. I think I'm like 170 right now. So I'm trying to like bulk to like 180, and then like cut.
Right. Okay.
Which might be another challenge in and of itself, but yeah.
I mean, you're learning how to manipulate your body and understand your calories in versus calories out and grow from there. And I agree it's super important for just balance in life, especially if you're doing full-time gaming. You got to get up from your desk.
Yeah.
You're an entrepreneur, basically. So you have to set your own hours, and you have to understand how to get up from the desk, walk around, get exercise, take care of yourself, and just find balance in all those avenues, because otherwise you could just be completely consumed in front of your computer your entire life. Wake up, get on your computer, and then go back to sleep, right? So finding the balance for the long run, I think, is super important.
Yeah, that's just basically my life right now, is trying to focus on that, trying to get as good as I can, but also like trying to balance content creation. It's a lot, but at the end of the day, all I could do is try.
I think you can do it, and I respect that you're trying to put some focus on content creation, because I do feel like if you're a full-time competitor, I think it's required. I'm a free agent. I'm
also like, I've been in this like esports shit for so long. Like, I think if you're a pro player and you're not doing content creation, you're just, what are we doing here? Like, especially if you're a free agent, like, it's like, you know, it's gotta put in some type of work.
There's no return from being good and not number one. That's the problem. So if you're a meta RD, it's okay. You can be a full-time competitive player, or if you live in Japan maybe, and you're on a Street Fighter League team potentially because you're salaried. But anyone else, there's no consistent income for being one of the best players. You have to be the best player to get any kind of return. So I think you're going about it the right way. Hopefully in the future that changes, where more people can just be salaried. I mean, Japan is where they're getting it done, and also their content creation goes crazy. I mean, Kawano uploads a stream highlight, it gets 1 million views.
You saw that? You saw
I watch his YouTube all the time.
Sea Viper level 8.
Oh, I didn't see that video on his YouTube. I saw the clips of it, but like, I'm sure it has almost 1 million views. Like, anytime Kawano uploads a video,
200K, something like that.
And that's just usually just stream highlights, and he gets that almost instantly. So like, it's just ridiculous how popular 400K, 360K, all those videos are printing money for him, right? So he is doing it right, and I think that's big in Japan. So hopefully we can bring more of that to like the NA English speaking audience and develop that here. And it sounds like you're putting your work in to get that done. God
damn, Kawano's popular.
I
just looked, holy crap.
Could be you're the you know, the Terry of the West right now, man. Maybe that could be you. Keep putting that work in.
Trying.
All right.
But yeah, just gotta keep going.
Any final words you have for the people? I do want to say personally, thank you, Riddles, for hopping on the podcast. You've had a very interesting journey of covering a lot of different domains, so I think it was a great conversation. So thanks for sharing your experience.
I'm very honored to do this. Very glad. And yeah, obviously, thank you guys for supporting me and what I do. I'm just gonna try my best. Just gotta keep it moving.
Of course.
Just gotta keep going, keep it moving. All aspects of life, you know, personal, passion, dreams. I'm sure many people just gotta keep it moving. You know, even if life throws at you, even with whatever life throws at you, you know, you just gotta keep going. And you know, I appreciate you for inviting me as a long time viewer. You know, I'm sure me in like 2017, like 14-year-old me would be like, "Whoa, I'm on this podcast." If they saw this moment right now, you'd be like, "Wow, that's fucking crazy."
I mean, that's crazy for me to hear that, man. That's to hear that maybe in some way I inspired you, and like these days you're definitely inspiring me.
Yeah.
I watch your gameplay all the time. You're one of my favorite players.
Thank you.
I'm always watching what you do in the world of Street Fighter, and been studying your Smash history as well. It's been very inspiring to see your journey. So Riddles,
Thank you.
thanks again for hopping on the podcast.
right.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you again. Have a good
All
one.
right, peace everybody.
All right. See ya.
Thank you for making it to the end of this episode of Trash Talk. If you're watching on YouTube or Spotify on a video feed right now, you should be seeing some names scrolling by on the screen. These are our supporters over at patreon.com/Brian_F. These supporters got exclusive early access to this episode and get other behind the scenes content and early previews to what we're cooking up over on the Brian F content universe. So if that interests you, consider supporting at patreon.com/Brian_F. I want to say a big thank you to all of our supporters and a very special thank you to our landfill members, SBO Hasserus, Smoking Seabass, Chuckle Chuck, and Kelly Lyles. Thank you for supporting Trash Talk, and we'll catch you guys in the next episode. Peace.